evening, everyone. The highlights of the news. Traffic accident. Beaver County man is being held for murder. Is more labor.
What's going on, y'all? You're tuning in to the highest rated, most listened to podcast to ever grace the airwaves, and you're a better person for listening to us. All right, maybe not, but you're really going to enjoy it anyways. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and we'll be talking social media hot topics, pop culture news, the greatest in movies and music, and all things sports. Make sure you're following us on social media at Made to Motivate podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch the show on our YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and with that being said, let's get this show started. Welcome fucking back. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and we have been absent for the last 2 weeks, but we are back. This is your host, Ryan Weiss, and I am joined, as always, by Jesse Unk from Sports Illustrated.
What's going on?
Hello, sir. And Chris, the film freak, Kessinger.
That's me. Hi.
That is you. How you doing, bud?
Good.
Somebody got your baseball?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. We have been on taking a break. We've been away. We're back. We're doing our Christmas show. A little disappointed because Steph didn't make our annual Christmas cookies this year, but
It's not annual. She did it one time.
that makes it annual. Like
It's
she did it annually one year, and then it's like a tradition.
That's true.
Have I ever told you guys the annual story?
Mm-mm.
Okay. We got to segue real quick.
Uh-oh.
So I got this kid, student of mine. This is probably 5 years ago now at this point. And she is what we in the professional community call low. Okay. She goes to she goes to our counselor, and our counselor comes out later to lunch just like crying, laughing so hard. And she's like, I got to tell you this story. She's like, so we'll call her Becky. She goes, so Becky comes in and she's talking to me. And you know how Becky is. She never stops talking. And she goes, Mrs. Snyder, you know, me and my boyfriend, like we tried to do like annual sex. And she's like, what? She's like,
here.
She's like, annual sex. And she goes,
You're going to be annually broke up with.
she goes, like, you have sex once a year? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, no, like in the butt. I swear to God.
Bro, how old?
I think she was like 14, which makes it sad, but
That's one. She's fucking 14 and she's already getting plowed in the butt.
but like,
And then she doesn't even know what it's
Who's a
called.
no?
it was crazy, bro.
Dude, that is fantastic.
Wow.
Annual sex, you know.
Annual sex.
I mean,
I hope not.
never know. Get married. Okay, so
Maybe you.
anyways, yeah, so we're back. Christmas show. We're going to do our gift exchange. We've got a list of interesting topics to talk about, so we'll get into those. Outside of that, what is new and exciting? Anything new? I mean, it's been 2 weeks since we did our last show. This is episode 14, season 3, episode 14. I think we've got 62 or so episodes out currently, so lots for you guys to listen to. If you ever have like a lapse when we do our show, like if we're out on a break, make sure you go back, check the YouTube. Plenty of other episodes to check on. But Jesse, new, exciting, what's up?
Not much. I mean, I was down for the count for a little bit. Didn't feel great. But other than that, made it to my fantasy football championship in both leagues.
Damn.
So I am dominating right now. Destroyed Fargo.
What do you get if you win?
So we've already decided, me and my friend Bo, he's the one actual friend I have in that league. I don't know any of the other guys personally.
The one actual friend he has, period.
Wow. What did I say about that Christmas present? That hasn't been given to you
He's
yet.
like, all right. So anyway,
So go fuck yourself. No, but my buddy Bo, he's like the only guy.
Comments of Jesse Young do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
Jeez. He's the only guy I actually know in the league. So we decided we were just going to split the pot. First place is 250. Second place is 200. So we're coming out at 275 each.
how many years I would have taken that if that was a rule in our league?
Is it?
Yeah.
It was tie. You guys officially did tie.
We're both going to the final. So
Okay.
before we even play a second of it, we just said, hey, let's just split the
it
winnings
even.
between it.
That's cool.
He came to me and offered it to me. And normally I wouldn't do it. But since me and him are actually buddies, I'm down. So
Do you think you would beat him if you go to the finals?
we're both in, and I think I will.
You
I'm
think you would
supposed
beat
to
them?
win.
So you would make what, an extra 25?
$75.
Yeah,
But I'll sacrifice $75 for
Yeah,
like,
because you'll be up still.
and I'm gonna
From if you
and I'm
would've
gonna
gotten
win.
second.
So
I gotcha.
in all of my years of fantasy, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've never won. I've made it to the finals like
Damn.
5 times, and I've never won. So if I win 2 times this year,
Yeah,
whew,
that's dope.
I'm excited.
Cool. When's the finals?
It starts on Friday.
Is it a 2 week
and
or 1 week?
1 week. Games start Friday and they end Monday.
Nice.
And I believe we have players on every single day playing, so we won't know before that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like Friday this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday this week.
So between the two of us, we have like 4 guys playing Friday. We'll be up to like 7 players on Saturday. Sunday is the bulk of it, and I think we each have like 1 guy Monday.
Do we have football games going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Not Thursday. Like
No
they changed
Thursday.
it with Friday.
So Christmas, there's always a game, obviously.
Yeah,
and then there's
right.
people playing Saturday.
Yeah, there's 2 games.
Is that
COVID
just to
fucked it all up.
Oh, so
and
that's
they-
just to get the league going, right?
Yeah.
Normally there's not. I know there's occasionally been a random Saturday game, but not usually.
There's usually Saturdays in the last 2 weeks of the year, but never Friday.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do think that they're going to try to expand that eventually, but in the past it was like you don't want to fight with college,
football,
and this
yeah.
year it's like nobody really cares about college because it's so much of a clusterfuck.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I bet you do. Not so much the last time, but
Hey, we look. Everybody was yelling because Notre Dame supposedly didn't deserve to be in the top 4 teams.
I thought you deserved to be out.
Brad Biltz.
Yeah. So, and I made my case. I said, here's why. I stated it clearly.
Yeah.
Next day, the committee proved me right. That's all I'm going to say.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't think you should have been out.
Plus, they bring TV exposure. There's no bigger fandom than Notre Dame in college football.
Really?
True.
Period.
That's a thing?
Because
Period.
of Rudy.
I didn't know that. I always just hear Ohio State, obviously, because we're Ohio, but
Ohio State's got a big fan. Yeah, those are the 2 biggest.
college football has never really been my thing. Like, I just never could get into it.
Mhm.
But I mean, I know Notre Dame's always been a big one, and obviously Ohio State, Bama, those normal ones.
Why do you think that is? The label professionalism versus like,
As far
college, you're
as-
considered, I guess, an amateur.
As far as why I don't relate.
Yeah.
I think it's just the college aspect. Like, cause I mean, in any state, there's 20, 30 college football teams,
Yes.
whatever it is. So you relate to the Browns because you're from Ohio. So that's the team that you watch. I'm from Pennsylvania. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are my team, whatever. Like you relate to that one national team based on where you're located or where you grew up or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Whereas college, it's like, what do you find yourself attached to?
Yeah. Are
I went to Akron U,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't care about the Zips enough that I'm gonna be like gung ho college football,
Right.
So I feel like everyone in Ohio State attaches themselves. Everyone in Ohio attaches itself to Ohio State because that's been the big team and they've done well.
Because
But I
they're
have
all a
no-
bunch of front runners.
Yeah, I don't have any affiliation to them. Like, there's nothing exciting. The players change so often
Yeah.
because it's students. So like, I don't know. It's just never been my thing. I know a lot of people get into it, and like, you've affiliated yourself with a team that you are consistent with. So it's not really about the players. You like
No.
Notre Dame,
Yeah.
and so you can find attachment there. Are you like real into college football, Jesse?
No, and it's kind of for the same reason that you said. Like, I never had football outside of. I was raised on the Browns, but like even in high school, I didn't care for high school football. Like, some people are religious about it.
I'm not
I went-
anymore.
I went to North and I went to Akron Public.
Right.
So like, we've always sucked. We had St. V that we kind of attached to, and I
Yeah.
rooted for them a little bit, but I wasn't a diehard.
Yeah.
Then I went to Akron. Akron won like 2 football games my entire time I was there.
Right.
I was much more attached to them as a basketball team whenever I was
Yeah.
there because they're really good. I went to a ton of those games.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to Ohio State, so I don't have like that college experience of
Yeah.
being a Buckeye. I support the Buckeyes. I'm a Buckeye fan, but like, I don't watch all their games. I watch the playoffs every year. I watch the Michigan game. I watch, if there's like a really big game, like when they played Penn State and lost to them on Halloween a couple of years back or
Right.
close to Halloween. I watched that game, but like, other than that, I just feel like it's Ohio State's beating up on teams like Kent State every year. I don't want to watch a team get blown out by 50. I don't want to watch, Alabama doesn't play anybody. And then like, so you basically have to just hope there's not an upset until you make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because every year, if every team went undefeated, it's always going to be Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State,
Yeah.
and whoever that 4th team is, which is either going to be Notre Dame or Auburn or whoever.
Right.
Like, it's boring. I thought
You
the
can-
playoff would be cool, but it's
You can
not.
continually draft the best people because
Yeah.
it's not the NFL. Like, you
No,
just bring
you
them
just-
there to take a scholarship on and play.
Yep.
So to your exact point. It's the
You're
same
really good.
teams
Do you want to
over-
play for me? I'll give you a really good locker room and look at our food. And okay, I want to go there. Dope.
Right.
Well, it's basically football at the hungriest level. So like
Yeah.
you're not making anything, or you're not supposed to be making anything. And we're gonna see how much you really love this sport.
Mhm.
That's why I like college so much.
No, that's a fair thing. Like the games are entertaining. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing their hearts out because they want to be successful. They want to get to that next level,
Most don't.
and I'll watch it.
And that's the thing I appreciate most about it too.
That most don't go.
That you're gonna see
That-
a guy who takes off his jersey for the last time ever.
Yep.
Yeah, which is sad.
Yeah.
You
That's
when
why I
you
like
work so hard
basketball
for
better.
that.
I like college basketball better than the NBA.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, March Madness is March Madness is probably my favorite sporting event aside from the Super Bowl.
Wow.
My favorite.
I don't know. I've just never attached myself to college sports. I don't know. But
March Madness isn't about a team for me though. It's about, I mean, if the Buckeyes are in, then cool, I'm gonna go for it. But like, I know they're not gonna win
energy.
it. It's all about the gambling, baby.
Yeah.
yeah,
I love
The
it.
biggest gambling. Well, you might be right. Super Bowl. Yeah, but one of the biggest gambling events of the year.
yeah. So that's cool. So yeah, college football. I don't know where we left off. What have you done? What have you been up to, Chris?
Well, another family video closed, of course. So I picked up my slack there, what I could. Wasn't a great trip.
Yeah.
Found a couple of decent buys, but mostly I've just been busy reviewing films the last 2 weeks. I think I've done 13 in the last 2 weeks
It's crazy.
because I had to catch up.
Whenever you do those family videos, I'm always surprised by what you get because I'm always surprised at what you don't already have.
Right. See, a lot of the times though, it's like, so you see Home Alone on the last one that I posted.
Yep.
I have it on VHS, but I don't have it on DVD because I always went to see it on the big screen for 13 years in a row.
That makes sense.
This is the first year I did.
Because I'm like, that's Chris's favorite Christmas movie.
Yep.
How the fuck does he not own that shit?
Yeah.
Do you still have a VHS player hooked up that you watch movies on?
I have a combo VHS
Okay.
DVD
That's
right
dope.
next to each other there. Yeah.
Dude, I've got a ton of VHS, but I don't have I gave my player away to somebody,
Mhm.
and I wish I wouldn't have because now I can't watch any of the freaking movies. But
There's some things I like to watch on VHS. So like a good example is if you popped in like 1990s Suburban Commando, that's a
Mhm.
product of the 1990s. If you watch that on DVD, it almost feels wrong.
yeah.
So you have to watch that on VHS just for that fuzzy, visualization.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
that's it. Nothing too big.
Yeah. Same. Hung out. I've been watching a lot of documentaries. I got like sucked into
Yes.
Netflix Limited,
Me
like
too.
the series.
Did you watch?
I watched both of those manhunts.
Did
So
you watch The Ripper?
I started it.
I
I
saw
saw
the
an
trailer.
episode 2.
I started. I finished one. Netflix is killing it on documentaries right now.
Yeah.
Like all these limited series. I watched the Unabomber one. I watched the Olympic bomber one. I watched Waco.
Now, what are those whole series, like whole seasons donated to those or
So,
dedicated to those?
It's called Manhunt. There's 2 of them right now.
Mhm.
Manhunt Deadly Games, and that's strictly 8 or so episodes, limited series, like the chess show. I can't remember what it's called. Drawing a blank.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Like that, where it's solely just about that true story.
Mhm.
And they turned it into like a story, like a storytelling of it, and they did a phenomenal job. And then there's Manhunt Unabomber, which is about the Unabomber, which was super interesting. Because it's crazy how far those guys went,
Yeah.
didn't get caught, like how much that they did
Planning.
and all the planning. Dude, the guy from the Olympic Games, the Deadly Games one.
Richard Jewell.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Richard Jewell. Yeah, Richard Jewell. He that dude lived in the freaking woods
Mhm.
for 5 years.
Mhm.
Jewel did.
The guy that did
Well, Jewell's the cop.
Richard Jewell's the cop that they had
the
pinned it
security.
on.
Right.
But the actual bomber,
Was in the woods.
he lived in the woods for 5 years on the run, bro.
Okay.
In the Appalachian Mountains, like out there. He had like these food caches. So he had like giant barrels, like chemical barrels filled with food, and he had them like strung up in the trees so that he could just bring them down whenever he needed,
Yeah,
and they
so
were
the
just
bears don't get
stashed. Yeah, dude.
That's a survivalist, man.
Yeah, he was like ex-military or something. So I watched those. Waco was crazy. I want us to
Waco's
do
good.
like an in-depth look at that because
Yeah.
that was
Did you watch it all the way to the end?
Yeah.
Did you cry?
Yeah, dude, that shit was sad as
was
fuck.
awful.
And I started looking into it more, like about what really happened. We'll talk about it. I want to do an
Yeah.
episode where we really look into it because there's 2 sides to that.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it would be interesting to kind of diagnose. So I've been watching a lot of documentaries. I watched some good Christmas movies,
we talking like
which we talked about a couple weeks ago. I watched another one of those girly ones. It was California Christmas. Have you seen that one on Netflix yet? So this one was awful. It was another one of those just like chick flick Christmas, but that's the only things I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So I just turned it on, and it was about some dude who's like this big rich bachelor, and his family wants to like buy out this property in California. And then he's supposed to go out there and like sell them on the deal. And he falls in love with the daughter that owns the property. And then he doesn't want to sell it. And he has to like go against his mom and betray his family to like save her farm. And
California.
It's always a fucking farm.
Right. I know.
It's never like
California Christmas.
a fucking business building or some shit. It's never some corporate thing. It's always
the family farm that they survive. And it's been passed down from generation to generation. The normal.
Oh my God. Amanda Detmer. I thought she was
cute.
Dead.
That's the blonde?
Yeah.
She was dead.
She's young. What do you mean you thought she was dead?
She hasn't been in a movie since like Saving Silverman.
This is the main character, the young, like the daughter in it, right?
Wendy.
Yeah, she was cute.
No. I think you're
Saving
thinking
Silverman
Laura
is a
Swicker.
movie that I loved as like a younger person, and then I rewatched it and I was
awful.
like, fuck.
Oh, I know.
So bad.
I was quoted all the time when I was younger.
I love Neil.
Coming in.
I never really got into that.
When you getting hitched? I'm not. I'm gay. Me too.
Dude, I was watching something the other day and I was thinking that exact same thing. I was like, I used to fucking love this. And we're watching this and I'm like, this is awful.
Yep.
There's
Silverman?
movies, not that. It was something else. There's movies like you'll watch now that you watched as a kid and they're just as good or better. But whatever the fuck I was watching, I was like, this is awful.
You have to have that realization moment.
I finally got back to watching Super Troopers though. Finally watched it.
Did you?
It's still so good.
Oh, yeah,
I fucking love it.
That's one that doesn't get old.
I think it's
Freaking out, man.
The snozberries taste
You
like
are freaking out.
snozberries.
Man.
Who wants a mustache ride?
I do. Have you watched the second one? I still never watched the second
Fuck
one.
no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, I know.
I never watched Anchorman 2. Like, I don't watch anything like that when they do a sequel like 10 years later. It's stupid.
All right. So anyhow, that's our throwback. That's what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks since our last show. We want to do gift exchange quick, and then we'll get into the real show, get into the real deal.
Let's do it.
So here's the story. Chris is a much better friend than me and Jesse, and he did his shopping months ago, so he actually has gifts for us.
Yep. I have a gift for Chris.
I have a gift for Chris as well.
We just don't have gifts for each other.
Fuck each other. Me and Jesse, like, so I did some shopping in person, and then I did some shopping online.
Well,
and with UPS or USPS has been overrun. Obviously, we know about that. We can talk about it more. And I ordered one gift, not for you guys, but for someone else a month ago, over a month ago. It just came today.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. Like, that's more than enough time to get stuff. So anyways,
I'm tired of hearing about all this shit. Like,
yeah, dude. Anyhow, we've got gifts. Chris will actually have some stuff to open. Me and Jesse will have some stuff to open from Chris. And then me and Jesse are going to exchange pictures of our gifts so that we can actually have some.
Ryan might not have a gift coming. I might have gotten ripped off by a Ukrainian man.
Jesse's just trying to play it up like he actually thought about me, but
I thought it was a very heartfelt gift.
Let's do where do we want to start? Let's just do
the pictures first.
Okay.
Sounds like a good plan.
So in your envelopes, Chris and Jesse, Chris, you have actual gifts.
Okay.
That's one gift though that hasn't come yet. And Jesse's
I will tear this and then
do one
send
at a
you
time.
my picture.
Jesse, you go ahead and do yours.
Okay.
That way I can kind of explain
and then
it to
I'll
you.
send you the picture of yours.
That's cool.
Okay. Take a gander.
So, this is a nice framed thing of the Browns, but there's actual game used ball in it.
I see that.
Oh.
So the reason it kind of took a little while is because they're made to order.
Yeah.
So as you order it, then they get game used ball and they make it for you and send it.
Fuck yeah, bro.
And then it's like, it's so many of 500. Like,
it's going to look so good on my wall. The picture, not the actual thing. Cause
just
who knows when it'll come in.
Just frame the picture.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
I thought that was cool though.
Yeah,
so
I like
it's a picture of the stadium and then a game picture, and then they'll number it obviously once it gets sent out to you, and it'll be I went back and forth.
Will I know what ball it was, like what game it was from?
I think so, because one of the pictures I didn't print was an authenticity thing.
Yeah.
It'll come with a certificate and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it'll tell you about all that in there.
And this
That's fucking
it's
dope.
from Fanatics, so it's like a legit.
Yeah.
This is incredibly rare because you never see that stadium full.
Wow. We have very good attendance. Very good attendance. Even when we were bad, we had good attendance. I'm going to send you the picture of what I got you.
All right, let me open my phone.
Possibly, if the Ukrainian man did not rip me off and just post something online.
You have the best phone among us. Can you put that to the screen when he does?
Yes, I will. I do have the best phone. It's an iPhone.
Should be coming through any second.
Is it coming in the group chat?
Yeah, it'll be in the group chat.
Let's take a gander here. Oh, that's dope.
So that's a vinyl
Yeah.
record.
Oh, it's a
that
record?
that they then
Yeah.
cut through and spliced.
That's legit.
Yeah, that's badass.
So
Dude, that's dope.
yeah. So hopefully that comes.
Oh, that'll go down here on the studio wall.
yeah. I thought, one of your favorite movies,
Yeah.
favorite movie, right?
It's
or up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you had all your records and stuff on the wall. It's like that would be cool for the
Dude, I hope this fucking
room.
Ukrainian dude doesn't fuck me over because that's dope.
I think
so.
there's a guy at conventions that makes those out of records. Like
Yeah.
he does an awesome Halloween one.
I wonder if it's the actual Back to the Future. Well, probably not. But I have the Back to the Future soundtrack on vinyl as well.
That'd be
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to find that out in the description, but it doesn't say what the records are. It's probably not. It's probably
just
like
goes to the thrift store and
probably
buy.
Neil Diamond.
Whatever. I can't play it anyways. All right, Chris, you can go ahead and open up one of my gifts.
Okay.
So here's the deal. Two, so it doesn't come off super shitty. Jesse got one. Chris got a couple from me, but I did it so they got the same price point.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse's one gift was a little bit more expensive than the several I got for you. So
I'll explain mine when we get to mine
combined
too.
combined it for you.
Hopefully that ball doesn't come from Brandon Whedon and it's
I
from
hope it
Baker.
does. So Chris's gift, that's all one gift. There's just three different pictures
Ooh,
for it.
nice.
So
He got me.
Oh, it's a woman.
He got me. She better have a lot of nerve. He got me the Home Alone doves from Home Alone 2.
Oh, that's dope.
friendship dove.
That's pretty badass, man.
That's for you, my buddy.
Yeah, I dig that. I like the sentimentality of that gift. Really cool.
I knew it was your favorite, or not the second one, but Home Alone in general.
Where'd you even go to get this?
That secret will go to the grave.
Oh,
No, that was Etsy. It's through like a film production company, though. Like,
oh,
it's
I'm not
in there.
getting it.
No, please come.
He got ripped off too.
I'll put this on my wall.
Look, here's the deal. One of your other gifts is from Etsy, and it got here, so I think we'll be okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
okay.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yes, sir. So that's one of.
I might put that on my tree every year
But
now.
that was a sentimental Home Alone thing.
Yeah.
Want to do a real gift?
Let's do a real gift. I want to give Chris mine.
Give Chris your gift.
Give me the gift.
The wrapping and the heart was from Steph.
Okay.
It's not
Don't fuck
fragile,
this up.
I don't think.
Oh,
I like the wrapping. I almost don't want to rip the
It's
wrapping.
my favorite Christmas movie.
I love Elf.
Is it?
No, I fucking hate Chris. I hate Elf so much.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Santa. It's gonna be like a box within a box within a box
Right.
within a box
I would not do that to you. I don't know how well it's taped.
within a box
You need a knife.
within a box.
Oh, there's fucking peanuts in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw these all over your fucking
mess.
basement.
Oh,
That is
dope.
badass, dude. Look at that. Oh, and signed by my favorite cowboy of all time, Bob
Hey.
Lilly.
That's legit.
Right there,
sir.
man. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
That is going right on top of the mantle.
That's a dope gift.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Badass.
I had it down to 2 possible gifts, and the other one didn't seem like it was the best quality.
Is that the
so
one
I
you
went
paid
with that.
27 cents for?
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
No, I had to auction for that, man. That was
I remember when you messaged, you said, it's going for 27 cents right now.
no, it was like $27, but then
Oh.
it's skyrocketed from there.
Oh, me and Chris both thought you said 27 cents.
That's what I
No,
thought
bro.
too.
Did
was
I
like,
say
oh,
cents?
Yeah.
I was like, thanks.
You legit said 27 cents, bro.
Whoops. No, it was at $27, and I was like,
Badass.
"There's no way I'm getting this thing for $27," and then it just went up from there.
Dude, that's dope.
You can smell the leather in this thing, man.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
counting down from like I'm sitting there on the button, like waiting for it to go because I thought that dude was gonna get me, but
You need one of those
Yes.
stands for. Let me see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
yeah, it's
It's all like
pretty
in
good.
Boston stuff too.
That was the fastest shipping I've ever seen too, because as soon as I won the auction, it was there 2 days later.
Oh, and the logo's embroidered.
Yeah.
Dude, that's dope.
And for those who don't know, Bob Lilly was part of the doomsday defense of the 70s for the Cowboys. He was a defensive back, hell of a Samaritan too outside of the football field. Hell of a great guy.
That's dope.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
You
Jesse.
are very welcome.
That was badass.
I've been out gifted. That's good.
Do you want me to give you mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesse can do one.
So first of all, I just want to explain a couple things before I give these. First of all, Ryan has 2, Jesse has 1. Jesse's gift is $5 more somehow than what both of Ryan's
You
were.
gave the cheapest person in the world a gift worth more than mine. That's fucked up.
So I don't know how it factored out that way, but I got some good deals for Ryan's gifts. But these gifts to me are like a token of the great friendship that I've received over the last year between you two. So a year ago, I got surprised on this show. I was just expecting to come on and just, laugh and enjoy your guys' episode. And it really meant a lot to me to be, awestruck by the fact that you guys considered to get me a gift. Like, that was something over the last year that I've been thinking of. And, I'm like, I got to get them something that symbolizes what they mean to me. So that's
appreciate it.
That's basically my sob story.
Little did he know that we were going to welcome into the group and do a circle jerk.
That would be okay. This is for Jesse.
Look at that big old black bag.
And these 2 are for you, Ryan.
All right.
I'll give you one at a time here.
You want to go ahead and open,
You have
Jesse?
Open this one
so
first.
Open one of yours and then I'll open mine. And
Open
you can
that one
finish.
first.
That's fair.
Or start tearing the top of this though.
Let me take a
Sorry, I knotted the top of those. That's
No,
the only
it's
way
all
they would
good.
stay.
fancy bag. It's like ASMR.
So this first gift I had to get off of a private seller.
Out of here.
This one
What?
I had to order off of eBay.
Oh, they got shit on them though.
Actually shipped from China. They are Jordan 1s,
Bro.
with the Steeler logo. So
that is dope.
Those are pretty sick.
So to kind of what Jesse said earlier that he ordered and he didn't know if he was going to get it because their profile had vanished overnight. This guy's profile vanished overnight. And when I went to write him, my email got sent back and I ended up waiting 3 weeks for these, finally got them. And when I did, I thought they were going to be awful quality.
Dude, they're dope.
Let me see those.
You know where these are going?
No, the fuck they're not.
Right
Sitting behind me.
Right
with
there
that
behind him.
shit.
Right behind him in
Bro.
camera frame.
These are legit.
I'll be knocking off shelves. Oh fuck, I didn't mean to.
Man.
They're pretty snazzy,
That's
man.
one pair of shoes Dan will never have.
Those are legit.
Yeah, I dug them.
Thank you, bro. Those are super legit.
They are your size too. So
Ooh.
every time you go to the bathroom, I'd have to recheck in your shoes just to make sure that they
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'll rock those too.
So give them a little dunk in there.
Get the fuck out of here.
If Chris didn't buy them, there might be an accident that might have befallen them.
Yeah.
Dude, and it is the Jordan 1 silhouette, which is dope. So you know someone in that factory, in the Nike factory, is making their own fucking shoes.
Oh,
there.
hell
That's
yeah.
right. Oh yeah.
Dude, that's dope.
I'm sure it's not a legit, business practice.
Yeah, but it's the Jordan 1 silhouette for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so dope.
And so every time that I had these for almost 2 months. Every time, that I would look at them, I'm thinking, well, they've lost 1 now. Oh, they've lost 2 now. Well, now they've lost 3 now. I'm like, my gift is depreciating as I'm fucking sitting here.
I love it.
We're not to that segment yet, asshole.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right. I haven't
Open
looked in
yours
here.
up.
I've just torn off the top. So let's take a look-see. Oh, fuck, bro.
You got him a bag of shit? You're supposed to light it on fire, you
Dude,
realize?
I've already made that joke about your shoes. This is an all-time great right here, man. Oh, shit. This is one of those legit,
Yeah, so this is a Mitchell and Ness, which is
Mitchell Ness is legit.
yeah, those are the top of the line jerseys.
Dude.
So I went through. Jesse's mom helped me as far as size goes. Actually, I messaged Steph first. Steph didn't know her own husband's shirt size.
Whoops.
So
because I've been getting fatter.
I went to the mom and she goes, well, I think you can get him a large or a medium. Either one will probably work. I'm like, I want to go with large because those look better when you've got a little like extra room off of them. And Jesse was talking to me earlier this year about how he liked my Bob Lilly with the long sleeves.
Yes.
Which is also a Mitchell and Ness.
These, you don't see these like ever. I love this. This
So
is
the long sleeves are
amazing.
sick,
Thank
dude.
you.
You're welcome.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah, that looks super nice.
I didn't even open the packaging, so I was going on. I hope that it's good when I open it or when he opens it.
Bro, this is super dope.
Yeah, and that patch is authenticity too. So like, you won't find those. There's Mitchell and Ness knockoffs, but they never have that.
Bro, this is super legit.
Yeah, that is some good fabric. That is the old school Jim Brown, like long sleeve jersey. That is incredible. I love that.
Yeah, it was that. They had that, and they had the white one, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like,
that's dope.
like the brown one's more snazzy in my opinion. Like, it looks better.
Yeah, that's legit.
I'll set over this way so I don't get coffee on it.
Mitchell and Ness is super dope.
Yeah,
I got a really cool Rodman Mitchell and Ness shirt.
Oh, do you?
It's just like a portrait of him, like
Mhm.
from one of the games or whatever. But Mitchell and Ness just make super dope stuff. Man.
Yeah, and I mean,
the long sleeve is legit
Like
too.
the stitching all up in here.
if you buy a jersey from them, like, you're gonna spend for sure. Like, but you're getting the best.
Oh,
That's the way it is.
oh, this will last forever.
Yeah, I like the long sleeve a lot and the stitching.
Yeah, it's warm but yet breathable at the same time. Like, my
Yeah.
Bob Lilly is very comfortable.
Hell yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Christopher, you go ahead and open up your other one, and then I'll open my last one.
Okay. Damn, this is heavy. This is heavy, Doc.
Heavy.
I need to put these on.
Do you though?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude! Everybody was telling me about this game,
I
and
seen it. I'm like, I gotta fucking get it for him.
I've seen it at Target, and everybody always wonders why I don't have it. Yes.
I'm glad you don't have it because I kept seeing people post and tag you.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's gonna fucking have it probably, but I was like, eh.
No,
How do you play?
that's perfect. I think it's just like it's your regular movie trivia game, but like obviously you move down the board. Act 1, Act 2, and
I think
all
this is like
that.
a deluxe edition because I was at Target and there was this one in like the big case, and then there was another one that was just like a VHS sized one.
oh, okay.
So I think that I don't know if there's more to that, or maybe the other one's an expansion of it. But I was like, this would be cool. We can play it one night.
These are like the big box porns of the 70s.
Heyo. Chris frequented those.
Me and you versus Chris will
Yeah.
try to survive.
Right.
Hey, let's go.
There's something else in there too.
That's awesome. Thank you, man. I'm blown away by anything that just says Blockbuster.
Right. It's a novelty at this point.
I'm trying to be careful just in case. Like,
I'm surprised that thing even exists, honestly. Like,
Right.
oh, the Lighthouse screenplay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
signed?
That's on the back. I'm sure it's probably a copy, but it was an authentication one. So
Oh man.
I think it says on there on the back, maybe.
Signed by Eggers and Defoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the full actual script.
Oh my God. I don't really want to open it, but I'm like, I want to read everything.
Bro. I was so tempted to open it because I wanted to look inside, and I'm like, it's not my gift though. I can't.
know.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much.
That's dope.
Absolutely.
Where'd you find
Wow.
that?
That's from Etsy.
Is it?
It's again like I found these two pages on there that do like official movie stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like the one that I got the doves from, they have a ton of like authentic movie props and stuff that you can buy.
Yeah.
And then this one is like a licensed store, and there's tons of scripts on there.
Mhm.
So if you want like a script from another movie, they've got a ton. I was trying to figure out what one would like as far as movies that you like, and I'm like, you guys talked about Lighthouse a lot.
This is number one
Yeah.
of 2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been meaning to rewatch it because I think it's on Prime or Netflix. It's one or the other. Haven't watched it yet.
And I've learned so much about this movie now that I've kind of like, there's a couple of fan theories online and all that in terms of, I can't remember the book of whatever they're talking about, but it's like sea creatures and it breaks into the mythology of it all and everything. And it's
Yeah.
so much deeper of a movie than people see at surface level.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Like, so you guys don't give yourselves enough credit when it comes to gifts. These are outstanding gifts. And I'm blown away. Yeah. Like seriously, I couldn't ask for 3 better gifts.
Glad you like them.
Wow.
Jesse's football.
Jesse's football is definitely.
This is my first year. I felt like I did really good.
Jesse's
with
definitely
gifts.
going on the mantle for that one, man.
That's dope.
Damn.
All right, let me see what's in this last bag, and then we'll get the show moving. I got a fucking cord in my way.
Toss me over some of that whiskey.
So this one, I'm not gonna say what it is, but like this one, I had to buy off of a local person who had this,
Oh,
and
were they cute?
no.
There was no
It was
hesitation.
a teenage boy.
We don't, you know that we don't judge on this show.
So
Hit the button.
I'll wait till you.
The thoughts
open
and
'em.
comments of Jesse Unk do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
Man, this fucking guy.
So these are LeBrons, and they're called What Ifs.
Yes, they are.
And they are slightly used one time, but I meant to scrub
Bro.
the bottom of them a little bit better. But I
Hell yeah.
so these are, yeah, like I said, LeBron What Ifs. They are his version 12. What I love about them is the design is so unorthodox. You've got the Cleveland colors on the right shoe, and it looks like 5 different shoes in one.
So if you know anything about What Ifs, for anybody that watches the show or listens to Just Shoot People, What Ifs are, exactly to Chris's point, they're like collaborations of several different things. So he's got like St. Vincent, St. Mary on the back,
Oh yeah.
and then Indians, Cavs probably in here. Those are dope, bro. Hell yeah.
Those are super dope.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Those will get worn as well.
Okay.
Gotta add those to the shoe collection.
They are your size as well.
Hell yeah.
Slightly used because Chris killed the man who was wearing them. And
I took them off his feet.
Found them in the street. Do I need to sanitize?
fun fact,
inside?
I have a pair of
No,
shoes
I
from a dead
actually
man.
did scrub inside. I didn't scrub the bottom though yet.
No, I mean they'll get worn, so that's all good.
So these were in my trunk for probably the better part of 2 months. Are they tight?
I've got big feet
Okay.
and no socks on.
Okay.
There we go. Oh yeah.
They were supposed to be that size.
Oh no, they're the right size.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And I go to pick him up. It's like the most suspicious cash deal ever.
That's what it always is.
So I
bro.
meet him. I'm on his porch, and I like anytime I go do that stuff, I'm looking around me, like I'm carrying my strap with me in the back of my like behind me here,
Yeah.
in case I got to go down or anything. So I'm looking around, and it's this kid that comes out, and he goes, "Whoa, man, you scared me." I'm like, I've been standing still for like 5 minutes. Like seriously, I'm
Wait,
standing
Did you
right,
say you got your strap?
right here. I've got it right behind me. Yeah, like my gun is
You've
on.
got a gun?
Yeah.
Did you know he had a gun?
I did not know this either.
I told you guys I had a 22.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have concealed carry?
Yes.
What?
Why aren't we all shooting together?
Bro,
You
I
guys
had
don't
no
invite-
idea that you had a concealed
Yeah,
carry.
I'm not like the juggernaut that you guys are, but like I do it just for home protection.
No, that's
He's
dope.
the juggernaut. I'm the average guy.
Whatever.
He's got the zombie killer with a bayonet on it.
Bro, that's
I
dope.
just got a tiny 22, but like, yeah, so I have it for home security. And
Yeah.
anytime I go for like pickups, like the Suns jersey I bought
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I had it on me the whole time. I'm like,
Bro,
I'm not
I
fucking
do
going into
too.
somebody's neighborhood where I don't know.
Bro, me and Dan went to sell his iPhone one time in Kent.
Oh God.
And I carry, to your point, anytime it's like anything like that. And these kids try to run off with his fucking phone.
They just
Thankfully, I had my
snatched it
gun.
from
I was
his
like,
hand?
he's on it.
Mhm.
So Dan, we're sitting in Dan's car. Kid comes up to the window, says, let me check it out before I pay or anything like that. So Dan gives him the phone. He's scrolling through or whatever. And he takes off running. We're in Dan's car. So
Dude.
we're like, we weren't ready.
Yeah.
So we get out. We just throw it in park really quick, get out and start running. And I'm like, bro, I'm fucking armed. If I was
Whoop
you, I
his
would just
ass.
stop.
Yeah.
And he like ran into a dead end alley and was like stuck at that point.
Wow,
And I was like,
genius.
bro, you're fucking lucky because I will fuck you up, man.
Yeah.
Dude had freaking changed. Dan like had unlocked it for him so he could check it. The dude went in and changed the login info.
Mhm.
So then when we got it back, we didn't know that and it was locked. So then we had to go downtown Kent, file a police report, get the kid. Dan had to like fucking try and like convince Apple that it was his phone and like have them unlock it. Dude, it was a
He had
disaster.
it locked that quickly while he was running.
I think he was doing it while he was messing with it.
Jeez.
So he like did it real quick while he was standing there outside
a
the car.
dick.
I know, bro.
See, that shit wouldn't happen with me. Like, you're not touching any fucking thing of mine.
We got summoned to court. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I don't want to go to court for some little punk kid, man.
Mm.
Like, apparently he had like a record in the area. They knew him and stuff.
Then they start asking, well, why'd you have a gun?
Thankfully, I know that's the thing.
Mhm.
Thankfully, I've got a license to carry and everything, but still, like, still sketchy.
You know,
Because you're not supposed to pull a gun, obviously, unless it's you're in self-defense.
Right.
Which I never
Right.
pull, but I'm yelling like, bro, like I'm armed. Like,
right.
you're lucky
Bruh.
he was an idiot.
you should probably stop. Now that was whack. Anyhow,
That's why.
gifts. That was awesome.
That's all
Thank
mine.
you guys. Appreciate it. Jesse's hopefully your shows is shipped, so
Mine says it's shipped also, but
so
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. With that being said, where do we want to start off? Where do we want to start the show off? Any preferences on where we go? I know Jesse, where Jesse's.
You know where I want to
I
go.
kind of think we should give him. He's been waiting a long time for this.
Swung on, line to deep left field.
It is gone!
45-40. Run, William, run. 20, 15. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala.
Oh, blocked by James.
LeBron.
Stimulus check.
This is locker room talk.
This dude. All right, Jesse.
Can we just say, I gave you guys props. I said you were a good team. In my article of top 10 quarterbacks, I put Ben at 4. I put him at 4. And what does he do? He embarrasses me.
He shit the bed
on a national stage. Do you know how many people read that article? Thousands of people. And now they all think I'm a schmuck.
I mean,
This is the greatest start to the sports section.
A schmuck. They're looking at me like, oh, this is Jesse Young from Sports Illustrated. How the fuck did he get that gig? Ben Roethlisberger, 4th overall. I'm going to knock him out of the 10.
I guess that's your saving
no, you're
grace.
not.
I might.
Come
I
on.
might. I think I'm going to take
Maybe
him
not
out.
4, but not. He's top 10.
I think
still.
Herbert's going to get taken out. I think I'm going to move them both out of
Herbert
there.
sucks, that's why.
I'm going to take them both out of there. I'm going to put Baker in and for one of them because I didn't give Baker his props at the time.
You're
He's
gonna
a
put
top
Baker in top 10 quarterback.
He's a top 10 quarterback right now.
I think
no,
Baker's
it's not all
better
time.
than
It's
Herbert.
currently. It's right now.
This is a current.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's right now.
That's fair. That's
Ben's
fair.
not top 10 all time.
That's fair.
He would never make that list. Jesus.
10 all. No, not
Any.
10 all
Ben's
time.
dope.
Ben's an all-time
Where do you
great.
rank him all time?
20.
I don't know for
Top
sure, but he's
20.
probably top 20.
Mhm.
Baker.
Baker's only played for
Yeah,
4
he's just-
years.
You're
He's
gonna
not
put him
even
in
close.
Top 10.
Right now he is.
I
He's
think-
lower,
I
but he's
think
there.
He's had a lot of help outside of himself to be
100%.
successful.
But he has top 5 in quarterback rating right now.
Yeah.
He's super efficient. He doesn't turn the ball
Okay.
over and he wins games.
Don't you love how the quarterback rating is convenient when it works for Jesse, but
It's a narrative.
But when it doesn't, it doesn't matter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's the best. He's the best Steeler quarterback of all time, and Terry has 4 rings.
Since we have been here,
Yeah.
the last time we met, I think you guys had just beaten a depleted Ravens that you struggled against. I believe you hadn't lost to
I can't
Washington
remember.
yet. The following week, you go and you
Yeah,
lose to the
the
team.
night we recorded was the Washington.
Yeah. So that night, you lost to a team with no name. They're surging. They've got a good defense. It's a trap game. You know, sometimes this happens.
Yeah.
Whatever. The following week, you meet the Bills, and everybody's going, this is the game to watch. And what happens? You guys get whipped like you stole something. You guys got
Now, look,
shellacked.
I know where the end of this argument's going to end, but I'm still going to make it. You guys barely beat them twice. I know we still won, so that's all that matters. But you twice.
Who?
Barely beat the Bengals, the Browns.
They had Joe Burrow
You
then.
barely beat
You were
them.
playing the third string
Like I said,
quarterback.
I knew where it was going to go, but
I didn't even know his name. And then he scored and they
Ryan
said,
Finley.
Ryan Finley. And I went, know his name now.
we shit the bed. Ben played awful.
Ben was awful.
He played awful.
So Ben, little known fact, I heard this the other day. Ben is throwing like 32% accuracy on
Wow.
any passes past 20 yards, which is terrible.
He's got to be hurt.
He's that I've been
In the
saying for
Bengals
the last
game?
3 weeks. He's hurt. Something's going on.
He
He
won't
either
tell
hurt his
anybody.
elbow again, and that knee got wrenched, and he's hurt, and he doesn't want to get taken out because he knows he needs to be in it for them to be successful.
They asked
But it's
him.
killing him.
They asked him if he was
He's-
tired.
He's injured.
I don't think that he's hurt. I think that it's just that arm had that surgery and it's just not
Yep.
holding up to throwing the ball 40 times a game because you guys can't run. So he has to throw
Yep.
and he just can't do it anymore.
Mhm.
They asked him in an interview, do you think that it was the wear and tear on your arm? Are you tired at this point in the year? And instead of saying, like, normally somebody would be like, no, it has nothing to do with that. We just need to get right, blah, blah, blah. And they'd give you a political answer.
Right.
He said, yes, I'm tired, but so is everybody else at this point in the year,
Yeah.
which is still kind of political, but he didn't deny it.
Right. Well, he also said something along the lines of like, it's time for me to hang it up if I can't get it together. Like
Yeah.
if I can't get my playing to the level that we need to be
A
successful.
week after
I
he
have
said, I'm
no-
coming back for year 18.
Yeah, he's coming back, but I think he realizes where he's at, and
Yeah.
he's not. They need to find a secondary for him. Rudolph is not our secondary.
No,
He
he's not.
can't be.
You guys have never been able to replace Ben. That's
No.
always been the problem. You've
Yep.
tried for, I'd say probably 8 years now. They've been looking for his predecessor and they haven't been able to find him. Juju went out there dancing on the logo like he said he would, just like he's been doing. Got smacked and knocked the fuck out.
And was quoted after the game saying he'll never dance on a logo
Do
again.
you guys think it's disrespectful, honestly? Not dislike for the Steelers. Do you think that is a disrespectful thing?
100%.
I didn't
Terrell
know.
Owens used to do it to the Cowboys as a 49er.
He does it as like a TikTok trend. That's like 100%. That's where it started. He started as this TikTok thing, but I never looked at it as a disrespectful thing. But a lot of teams, I guess, think it's like a really
He knows it's disrespectful.
Yeah, I didn't know.
He can try to play it off, but T.O. is the exact reason. T.O. went out, scored the touchdown, slammed the ball down, and stood on the star. Nobody did anything.
He threw it at the star.
He tried to do it again, and he got his ass hit.
That was like when Baker planted the flag on the logo.
100%. That was super disrespectful. But with that, I really wanted Baker that year. I wanted him as our first pick. And when I saw that, I was like, I fucking want that guy because I don't know. I like that attitude. But no, it was definitely disrespectful. If I was more of a Buckeye fan, I'd be pissed.
So do you contribute at all to Ben then as far as why they're losing and why they are?
Well, there's two. There's multiple problems. Ben is one because the dude is freaking, what is he, 38? Yeah, 38 years old. That's what I thought. 38 years old, coming off of a non-contact injury.
He's been, 17 years, I think?
Had a surgery that no quarterback had ever had before. We didn't know how he would come back from it. He was efficient at the beginning of the year, playing very well. That's why he made my top 10, because he was playing well despite the injury. He had the undefeated record. You guys can't run the ball, so that was another, boost to him. I don't think that Ben is the only problem.
He played awful though. Like I'll be the first.
No, he was terrible in this game,
bad.
but
I think he'll say it all falls on him.
Yeah,
he's not the sole reason you guys are on a 3-game losing streak. No. Your defense is not as good as it was. You're losing 2 of your main linebackers. That's always going to hurt. TJ can't do it himself. I think you guys are missing a couple of people from your offensive line as well, if I'm not misremembering.
We've got 4 or 5 people out for sure. I know that.
So all of that hurts. And then on top of it, people are figuring out the fact that Ben can't throw deep anymore, and they're just crowding the line.
Yeah.
Those short passes where you're going to get Chase Claypool running for an extra 40 yards on his own ain't going to happen anymore. They're putting their best guy on.
He even just had bad calls on Sunday though, or Monday. There was the one play he threw. I think it was to Juju. No, it was to Ebron.
Eric.
Yeah. And he got laid out, and Juju was wide open.
Yeah. I saw that.
Not even being covered.
Down the seam. I saw that.
What are you doing?
And that's on Ben. But as a whole, like your entire team is just not producing right now. This defense is supposed to be elite, and you let the 3rd-string quarterback of the Bengals offense put up 27 points on you. You can't win when you're doing that. And Ben put them in a bad position, but you just can't allow for that crap to happen. He ran for a 15-yard touchdown on his own, like untouched.
My thing is, at this point, they were 11-0 at one point.
Absolutely. Now you're 11-3.
What's going on? Like something, like he is tired. He's got to be tired. Now, again, that's no excuse. Everyone's been in it. We didn't have our bye. We kind of got fucked on our bye.
Yep.
We had it, but very beginning of the season.
Sure.
So we haven't gotten a break, but something is going on outside of that. To go 11-0 and then fall apart, what the fuck is up?
So my observation in watching 2 out of these 3 games, and I don't think you're probably going to agree with me. What I've noticed is in all of these games, they are getting off to poor starts, like right off the bat. To me, I think that has to do with an overabundance of confidence and them almost not taking Cincinnati or Washington seriously. Yep. You can argue that fact with Buffalo. Obviously, Buffalo's a great team.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like if you don't take these teams seriously, even the ones who are beneath you, like you're not doing your job as a team to execute properly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens. So they found themselves down 17-0.
Yeah.
Well,
their biggest problem too is you guys have had the easiest, I don't know if it's the easiest, but one of the easiest schedules in the entire NFL. And when you get to those last 6 games, like you guys shouldn't, the fact that you lost these games moving up to the Bills, I think that Washington was a trap game. Yeah. I think you guys were looking forward to the Bills. I think the Bills just legitimately beat you. But then on top of that, all of those games very quickly with COVID, coupled with the fact that you have all these injuries, coupled with the fact that you are, I don't disagree with you. I think that they're cocky. I think that they were cocky going into it. They said, oh, we've been destroying all these teams. Yeah. They didn't think of the fact that these teams sucked. And now you're facing real competition. I think that there's a legitimate chance that you guys do not win again this regular season. And that's not even just the hater in me. The Colts are a very good team that are very hot, and the Browns are the hottest team in the NFL right now.
Our last 2 games are tough. The Browns game is going to be very tough, and next week is going to be a hard game. We could go We could
0-5
Yeah,
going into the playoffs.
very easily we can lose the last of them. Thankfully, we've clinched the playoffs already, so maybe they've got that on their mind. Hey, we're in. I don't think that they're losing on purpose, but
No.
hey, we're in. Let's just play. It is what it is. We're going to get into the playoffs and not overdo it. But to that point, if that is in their mind, if that's in Tomlin's mind at this point, we're not undefeated already. Sit Ben. What's it matter at this point?
Yeah.
We're not going to clinch the bye at this point.
No, you're not.
We can't clinch bye.
No.
If we clinch division, cool, that would be great. But what's it matter? We've already clinched the playoffs. Sit Ben, let him get some rest, at least next week, and go into the Browns game strong, because that's going to make all the difference. And then go from there.
Yeah.
He needs to get some rest, though.
I think the question is ultimately, what does Tomlin want out of this whole thing? Does he want the division title?
Right.
Does he? Because if you want the division title, you need Ben in each of these last 2 games. Look, as much as we, have said the guy has not been hot his last few games, the backup is not the guy to go
Rudolph
out
is
there
terrible.
and win a game. So to me, it's like you have to have been out there to win at all times. Without him, you have a 0% chance of winning.
I absolutely agree. Like we're fucked without Ben.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess long term or long game, what's more important? Take him out the next 2 games, let him rest up for the playoffs, or at least take him out for next week. Because going in, if we lose next week and you win next week, we'll be tied going into the last game.
Do you want that?
Fuck.
I mean, do you really want that? I don't want that. That's what I'm saying. Like, so if you sit Ben, you might as well give the Colts the game. Like,
you have a better chance of beating the Colts than you do beating us.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
The beautiful thing is the Browns are in a win-win situation right now, because if you beat the Colts, we clinch the playoffs right then and there. Doesn't matter. If you don't beat the Colts, we have a chance to beat you and take the division from you. So we are in a win-win situation.
Yeah, you guys are better off than us anyways. I think at this point for the Steelers, it's like, look, we're in the playoffs at this point. What's going to matter more? Fuck the next 2 games and worry about winning in the playoffs or trying to clinch the division. Like what's really going to matter?
And what's the chances that these 2 teams meet for back-to-back weeks?
It's almost guaranteed that we will. Yeah, it's almost guaranteed, because if you guys lose this week and we beat you next week and we take the division, we won't be ahead of the Bills. We'll have the 3 seed and you guys will drop to the 6 seed. So in that case, we face off. If you beat the Colts, we clinch the division, and then we beat you the next week. I believe it's still 3-6. Or it would be the second round that we would face off. But it's almost guaranteed that we're going to face off.
Round, so it won't matter.
I don't know why you would think that. We have been on fire. We beat the Titans, and then we just ho-hummed our way. I was watching that Giants game, and for the first time in my life, we were winning a game, and I was sitting there bored.
Yeah.
I texted you guys. I was like, this game is boring, and I love it, because this is the first time where I was just like, they can do whatever they want. They could have hung 40 points on the Giants, but they knew we got this in the bag. We're going to win the game 21-6. Boom. Write them off and move on. Yeah. We're going to beat the Jets. We're going to beat the Jets. The Jets put everything they could into the Rams. They don't want to win again because they already screwed up their number 1 overall pick. They just lost Trevor Lawrence, unless the Jaguars, blow it one of the last 2 games and the Jets can somehow win again. We're golden.
What team in the first round do you absolutely not want to face?
I'm a little afraid of the Bills. With that game, it's hit or miss. They're either going to destroy us or they're going to choke, because you don't know what Josh Allen you're going to get. I'm not afraid of the Steelers. We can't face the Chiefs in the first round.
You're right. That disqualifies them.
I don't want the Ravens to get in. The Ravens scare me just because they're a matchup nightmare for us. And I am a little weary of the Dolphins. I think we win that game, but they just scare me a little bit.
I would rather play the Colts than play the Dolphins, to be frankly honest.
I am not afraid to play the Titans or the Colts right now. Both are good, but we've beat them both, and I think that we can beat them both again.
Yeah.
So Titans, Colts, Steelers, bring them on. Anybody else, I'm a little iffy about.
Hey, just, be happy that you're probably heading in that direction in the first place, you know?
So playoff scenarios, I've been messing around with the little playoff predictor that they have available through ESPN.
Yeah.
And my ultimate dream goal is that we win the division and the Ravens don't get in. That is my ultimate dream. In order for that to happen,
They're not going to get in, are they? The Ravens.
They have a
chance to
very
get
good
They're
the
still
points
in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hell, the Raiders are still in it.
they have the easiest schedule in the NFL to finish out. In order for them to get in, if the Dolphins lose one, they're in. If there's a couple of teams that can lose one and then they're done if they win out. But the scenario that I am rooting for is you guys lose to the Colts. And in that case, we still could technically be eliminated from the playoffs. So I'm getting greedy. A lot of people I know don't want us to get the division. They just want to guarantee that we'll be in. But you beat the Colts. We beat you. Or Colts beat you. We beat you. You guys lose out for the year. We take the division. We're at number 2. All of the other teams win their designated games. The Dolphins beat the Raiders. And because of this, because the Bills have won their games, they are locked in at 2, whether they win or lose, and going into the final game.
Yeah.
They bench their starters against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins win that game, eliminating the Ravens from the playoffs. That is the perfect scenario.
Can you imagine a Browns and Steelers playoffs without the Ravens?
I
The
hope
Ravens
so.
have dominated for the last several years.
They
Yeah.
have.
Like that would be wild.
They were my pick
man.
for the division this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we all thought that they were gonna do way better. I mean, last year
We
they
all
killed it.
picked them to win the division.
Yeah.
I think
Now it's
even
the Browns and Steelers. What the fuck, man?
Hey, it's good to have a rivalry, though. You know.
Well, that's the thing is like everybody says that like the Ravens and Steelers rivalry is bigger than the Browns and the Steelers, but like if the Browns are good, that rivalry is gone. Nobody gives a shit about Ravens Steelers if the Browns are good. That will always take over. It will always be number 1. Like it's not like the NFC East where some people are like, oh, we hate the Cowboys the most. Oh, we hate the Eagles the most.
We've had this discussion,
Yeah.
in terms of who's the Cowboys' true rival.
Stefanski
Yeah.
walked onto this team and he's fucking just all the glory, man.
I give it to him.
And that's
That
the other
dude
thing
is-
with Tomlin dropping these games. Stefanski, I think, is a lock for coach of the year now.
Well, they're saying he's the favorite. Yeah, like
He's
that's
gotta be.
I read that in the Associated Press today that Stefanski is the favorite as of right now.
Yeah, because if Tomlin were to go undefeated, that you can't argue it. He's going to get the thing. But the way that this is going now, even if you finish with one more win than us, Stefanski's taking coach of the year.
Yeah.
You
Coming
think
on
if
to
we
this-
come off, if we beat you guys, I know it's a big if, but if we beat you week 17, Tomlin takes it.
I don't think so.
No?
Because I think that at that point, you're still only going to be up 1 game. Because I don't think you beat us and the Colts. You're going to win one or the other if you win one. I think that Stefanski, if he has 1 less game than you and makes the playoffs, taking the Browns to the playoffs with an 11-win season, he's got it. And I think he's a lock if he's got 12 wins.
And you have to think in terms of sexy headlines. So like Stefanski is the guy that turned around Cleveland, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the guy that turned around 20 years of suffering.
And not only did he do that, he did it with no off season in a COVID season,
yeah.
losing Myles Garrett for 2 games, losing Nick Chubb for 4 or 5 games, whatever it was.
With the quarterback that fans were giving up on.
Yep. Turning Baker Mayfield into a top 5 quarterback by the end of the year, like QBR wise, at least, but like, it's just insane what he's been able to do.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
What a year, man. And what a look, I definitely didn't have the Steelers with 11 wins. I think I called them as 10 and 6.
I had 9.
I think I had them as 10 and 6. So, I mean, I was really hoping for that beautiful undefeated season, which was obviously unrealistic.
Yeah.
But we're getting to the playoffs. I'll be happy with that. Seeing Brown Steelers playoff game would be amazing.
It'll be the first time since 02. I was in Niagara Falls when that game happened.
25-point
with my
lead.
dad in 6th grade. I was in 6th grade going into 7th grade. And it was just awful. It was terrible. We fucking got our asses kicked, but
Holcomb
choked
forgot
it
they had a
away.
4th quarter.
yeah, we had it one
Pulled
and
a
we
JR.
choked it away, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is if they win, when they win on Sunday against the Jets, if they win, it will be the most wins I've ever seen in my lifetime. 28 years old, and I've never seen 11 wins.
Yeah.
Wow. Realistically, I know Jesse's answer is going to be the Browns, but realistically, Super Bowl prediction this late in the season, who do we think the Super Bowl is going to be?
My original pick
Still
before the
going
season
Seattle?
started was Seattle and Kansas City.
Still sticking it out?
Here's the thing. Kansas City's winning it all. I don't care.
You
Like,
think they're going to win Super Bowl?
yes.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes is unstoppable. He is a machine. And I love watching him play. I really do. Like, I'm not a Chiefs fan in the slightest, but I love watching that man play. Now with Seattle, like, I think as of right now, they're the 3 seed. The Saints are falling. And I think Breeze came back hurt. I think they're going to surpass the Saints. The Packers is the true question. Now, for my money, there's only a few teams that can get to Aaron Rodgers with the kind of pressure that Seattle can. So I think that puts them in the favorite to top him and top the boys from Lambeau. I'll stick with my pick, but I think, Green Bay looks like the favorite right now.
You don't think the Cowboys are going to make it?
In all honesty, and this is not me being the pessimist, I don't want the Cowboys to make it. This is the year I talked to your dad about this. This is not a good year. You're fighting for a division that basically guarantees you're going to get blown out by some team in the first.
They're
round.
leading their division though, aren't they?
No, they're one game back with Washington right now. We have to win out and Washington has to lose out. So basically, I don't want this. Like, to me, I would rather have the draft pick, which right now somehow they're still on the 8th pick, which I'm fine with that.
What do you get at 8th pick though, first round?
Oh, really? you can get some solid defensive help.
Well, they better go defense. Yeah, if they don't go defense, I'm going to Jerry World and we're gonna have a little talk.
Yeah, 8th pick, you can get a decent pass rusher, maybe a cornerback, which is what you guys need is a corner.
Zeke's gonna be gone soon, so
yeah.
Is his contract ending?
No, he's gonna go to the Jets. We're gonna trade him to the Jets.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he panned out what they were hoping for.
Well,
this year he's been bad.
And I told people, so when this deal went down, I said, this kid has proven 1.5 years. He does not deserve the extension yet, is what I said. I said, give him another year. Let him prove it again. He's been an off-field headache. Let him prove it.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think he panned out to be the hype that he was.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he went to the Cowboys, granted, he didn't go to the greatest team, but I don't think he panned out anything like what he was in college.
Not long term.
No.
I traded him for Alvin Kamara in a 4th round pick this year, and I have not looked back.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
Jesus, God, that's murder.
Yeah, my Super Bowl pick, I still have Kansas City going. I'm not picking the Browns. I think that if the Browns get Steelers in the first round, I think it could be like a Tennessee Titans story last year where you could make the AFC Championship. I never would bet money on it, but I'm not afraid of anybody in the playoffs except for the Chiefs, really.
And they don't have a good defense.
And if you get to the Chiefs, if somehow by a miracle you make it to the AFC Championship and you're facing the Chiefs, if any team can keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands because he's unstoppable, it's us. We'll run a 10-yard or a 10-minute drive to score a touchdown and keep the ball out of his hands and control it.
Yeah.
That game would still probably be Kansas City by 6.5 on the betting wire, but no, Kansas City's for sure my pick coming out of the AFC. They're going to repeat. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers. The dude has all the talent in the world. He's got a great arm, but the dude never wins. He hasn't since 10 years ago was when they beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
2010,
2011, something like that.
Yeah.
I picked the Saints, I believe, at the beginning of the year. I'm going to stick with them. I think that Ben is hurt, but I think that he can get Drew Brees. If he can get healthy by that point, I think he'll be all right. He's got a couple of games to heal up still. And then I just take experience in the playoffs over that. I'm not going to trust Mike McCarthy to get it done in Green Bay. So
well, he's not there anymore. So
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
he's rotting our team.
I think I had Saints Chiefs going. I'm pretty sure. Chiefs are going 100%.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs have it in the bag.
Yeah, no one's coming out of our side that's going to beat off the Chiefs. I don't think.
Beat off the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are taking me to the championship, man. I got Kelsey, I got Mahomes, I got all these guys. They're gonna win it for me.
Yeah, I see Chiefs going. I think it would be up between Saints and Seattle at that point. I
like the Seattle pick.
I do too.
I like Russell Wilson a lot.
I don't see Packers pulling it off. I wouldn't mind seeing them in it again. It's been a long time, but I don't see it. How often has the team won back-to-back?
It's
other than Tom Brady.
It's rarer than you think.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because I think we talked about Mahomes being really good, but we were unsure if he would repeat. I think when we talked about it last season,
right?
So I'd be curious to see if he's a repeat winner this year.
Back-to-back winners. So. You've got your dynasties. You've got your 70s Steelers. You've got your
80s Niners.
Wait, who was that again?
80s Niners.
What was the first team that you
The
said?
one before you were born? Yeah, that team.
That's okay.
You
said the Dynasty Steelers. I'll take it.
Cowboys repeated.
Yeah, we did 92, 93, and 95.
Okay. And then you don't have much going into the 2000s. You've got Brady, who did it a couple of times. That might be it.
Yeah, it's rare.
It's not easy to win 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And to win 3 is almost unheard of.
Especially in football. Football, I think, of all sports, is a really, the cliche sound, any given Sunday. Any week is really any team, man. There's so many factors in football that can throw a game. It's not like baseball or basketball where you're playing the same team 3 days in a row or 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Football, it's every week is important.
It's the most physically dangerous sport.
Yeah, 1 week, I mean, really can throw off your whole season.
Yeah.
You know, so
now's the time for the
look at the
Chiefs to
fucking
strike
Jets,
because
the
they
Bengals.
could win it this year. They could win it next year.
Yeah.
And then you got to start paying like Tyreek Hill. You got to decide if you're going to keep Sammy Watkins or not, which I don't think that they will. They'll pay Nicole Hardman on a cheap contract to do what Sammy's doing.
Yeah.
But
Sammy's done.
You're going to have to start paying those offensive linemen, shoring up that defense. I mean, Patrick Mahomes got a huge contract.
Bro.
And
unreal.
history shows when you get paid those contracts, your team does not
Do well.
it doesn't do well because you just can't pay to fill out the rest of your roster.
Yeah.
It's happened with Ben. Ben got paid. You guys went to a Super Bowl and lost. You haven't done anything since. Drew Brees got paid. After he won a Super Bowl, he's never done anything again.
This dude said we haven't done anything since. We made it to the playoffs every year.
But you haven't won a Super Bowl, is what I'm saying.
Damn, bro.
Like,
You're a hater.
It just is what it is, though. Like, if you pay your quarterback, most of the time you do not win again. Tom Brady never took a maximum contract. That's why he was able to win 6 rings.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning is one of the only guys that has taken a max contract and won another Super Bowl, and that was with the Broncos. He didn't do it again with the Colts.
Yeah.
So,
like the greatest receiving core, you know.
yeah, that was the greatest offense that they've seen until the Chiefs came around. But like, when Aaron Rodgers is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Beat you guys, never did anything else. So Russell Wilson again, like all of these guys get paid. You put all this money into your quarterback. When you pay those guys top money, you're putting a third of your cap space on
Into
one
player.
guy.
Yeah.
And that's why teams like the Browns, you've got to strike now, because once Baker gets paid, he's not going to be a $500 million man like Mahomes is by any means. But even if you pay him $250, which will still be cheap for a quarterback at the time.
He's got what, 1 season left?
We can extend his 5th year option and then we're good. This is his 3rd year. So we have 1 more year and then his 5th year option, which we'll pick up, but we'll extend him at that point.
But the shitty thing when it comes to the NFL, as far as these free agency deals go and all that, is next man up. So basically, Dak Prescott is in the same predicament right now to where he needs to be signed next year to a bigger contract. He wants $40 million. People don't think he deserves $40 million. But because that's the next man in line, because the last guy got whatever, 38 or something,
right.
That's how it goes. It's I top the next guy and so on and so on and so on. So by the time it gets to Baker, is he going to ask for 45? You know, that's the question.
How do you top that out though? Like I get they have to get their worth, but like, I mean, it still needs to come down to statistics and how well you've played, what your season was like. It can't always be just like, well, I got to top that guy. Like,
I think they're going to extend Baker after this season because we're like the analytics team with Andrew Berry and stuff. And I think he's going to look at it and go, okay, we're going to give Baker his $40 million a year because the cap is going to increase in 2 seasons. And then we'll have him on a deal on a 6-year contract. And we're just going to do it that way.
yeah.
Like if you look at some of these guys that got extended even like 2 or 3 years ago, it's nothing. We were at the time, we were like, holy shit, there's no way that they deserve that.
Yeah.
Now you've got guys like Mahomes making $500 million.
What do we have the rest of the team though? Landry's
Locked
Miles.
up. Miles is also locked up. We paid for him. It's a question about whether or not you're going to pay Chubb. I hope that they do.
They're going to let Hunt go.
They need
Hunt
Chubb,
away.
man.
Hunt got extended for 2 years.
Yeah,
They did
they-
that this year.
Which is a good thing. They need-
Wow.
I think that they are going to let Olivier Vernon walk, which is $15 million off of your cap space, dead
No big
space.
deal.
And I think that they're
OBJ.
going to trade Odell
yeah.
because
Yeah.
Odell is expensive and we've shown we can do stuff without him.
Yeah.
We don't need him.
You have to pay Wyatt Teller now, who's become one of the best offensive linemen in the league. You have to pay Chubb. You have to pay Rashard Higgins. You have to pay Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward's going to be expensive. Cornerbacks are the
They need-
3rd highest paying.
I think he's earned his keep though.
he has. He's a
Yeah.
Pro Bowl
Yeah.
corner. But yeah, corner is the third highest paid position behind quarterback and left tackle, and he's going to take up a lot of your cap
More than
space.
receivers, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was listening to past episodes recently. I want to clarify from, I think it was 7 episodes ago now. So when OBJ went out, I distinctly said Baker is going to do better without that pressure.
Me too.
Yes, you did.
Me too.
Without that pressure, I said it is one of those things to where you don't have a diva out there in a contract guy that you have to throw to. You don't have that pressure of going, I got to get it to him 10 times a game or whatever like that. It opens up the playbook to everybody, and his core of receivers, are very balanced. So it's not just Jarvis Landry who's dominating each game statistically. It's a bunch of guys that make up this product.
100% agree. I think
Odell's
that he feels
gone
that
and-
pressure.
Yeah,
because he's the superstar, and he feels that he needs to get him the ball, and that they need to get their money's worth. And Baker plays better when he's not there.
Doesn't work on this team. Yeah,
Yep.
Baker set a franchise record for completion percentage in that Giants game for the Browns, and that was without Odell Beckham.
I
so-
still
His
can't
best
believe
games
that's
have
the
been-
longest throw in NFL history.
yeah.
That
Since
blows
it's-
my mind.
It's not an NFL history. It's since Pro Football Focus started recording it, which
When's
only
that?
goes back like 7 years.
Oh, okay. That's
So-
a big
Oh,
difference.
really?
I don't
That's
think
a big
he's throwing farther than Jamarcus Russell.
I was gonna say, come on, you're telling me of all the quarterbacks in NFL history, that was the
Warren
best.
That's
Moon,
still-
man.
Right?
Warren
come on.
Moon used to
That's
bomb
still
at
cool.
Tecmo
still
style.
crazy though that he was
No.
able to do that.
That's
I
still
mean,
cool, but I was just shocked. I'm like, there's no way that Baker's the
no,
farthest throwing
Baker has a
quarterback ever.
cannon. I don't think he has the strongest arm in NFL history though.
No, hell no.
I don't even know if he has the strongest arm in the NFL. I think Josh Allen has the strongest arm in the NFL. I think that dude could probably throw it 90 yards through the air if he really wanted to.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I thought that was interesting, but that makes more sense. So,
Might give you that one.
But yeah.
so we got Browns, Cowboys, or Browns, Steelers.
Ain't gonna be all right.
No, Browns, Cowboys. Browns, Steelers, possibly first round playoffs.
Yeah.
When's that game? The first game, Steelers, Browns, 17. week
That is
17.
January 2nd?
No, third.
Third.
Because
Is it a Sunday night?
Yeah.
Sunday night football.
It
Yeah, I
will
don't think
be.
it's they'll
move it to
definitely
Sunday.
move it.
So yeah, it'll be the third. That's going to be a interesting game to watch. I might have a heart attack that game because I know if we lose that, I'm just going to throw in the towel.
I made a bet. I made a bet on that game because I'm so confident. I was talking my shit.
Oh,
And I was
God.
pissing off. I got 3 Steelers fans in my league
We
of
saw what happened
punishment.
last time.
Right
And
now. I still have that picture. That will live in. I'm going to frame
My-
that and put it over in that wall.
my buddy Justin was getting so pissed at me, and he's got the first pick in the draft. He's our punishment guy this year. And he's just going, you guys aren't going to fucking beat us. You're going to do this and that. And I'm going, well, say it with your fucking chest then, man. Put your first round pick on it. So I have 2 first round picks already. So I'm playing with fool's money already because, if I win this thing, I don't care if I do well next year. And he's putting up the number 1 pick in return for the number 5 pick. Bet on this game. If the Browns win, I'm going to have 3 of the top 6 picks in the draft.
Jesus.
I'm going to be a fucking monster.
He bet that for the Browns Steelers game.
He bet the Steelers would win because he was emotional and upset.
Other players can't veto this shit because I would be pissed. I'd be like,
Nope.
you're not giving this guy a
You're giving
dynasty.
Jesse all of the
Nope.
fucking people.
We do
Yeah.
bets all the time.
I'd say I'd veto that shit, man. That's the thing in our league. Like everybody has to agree to every trade that goes on.
You can veto, but it has to be clear collusion.
Yeah.
So a bet is not clear collusion. It's got to be you're for sure cheating. If you're just a dumbass and you make a bad trade, if it's not cheating, it is what it is.
Your fucking friend made a favorite out of you. I know that. That's for sure. Because everybody else is not going to have a chance.
I already have most of the picks. I will turn that number 1 overall pick into fucking 3 picks. Like that's just how I am. I'm going to trade down. I'll take your second rounder this year because I've already got 2 first rounders
Right.
and you can give me first in the future. So
What a
yeah.
fucking stupid guy.
Good God. All right. What else we got going around? A football fucking Browns Steelers.
One last
disappointment
football
talk.
thing.
Okay.
Fucking Fargo. All right. Fargo, the asshole from my fucking fantasy football.
Oh,
league.
yeah.
This fucking guy, I have silenced him legitimately. He was talking all this shit. He
Let's
was
call
so
him.
pissed. I wish I had his number.
We call him?
I wish I had his number. He was talking all this shit, right? Going into the playoffs. He tried to get somebody to cheat. All right. So he's got the guy who has to win in order for me to get the bye. All right. I've already done everything I need to do, but I need this guy to win for me to get the first round bye.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happens that the guy that I need to win is buddies with Fargo. And all of a sudden, Michael Gallup gets benched for your 5th wide receiver. I don't even know who his name.
Noah Brown.
Nope, another one. Who's below him?
Oh,
It's a guy who had like 3 catches on the year. All right. So this guy's probably practice squatted most. So I get on there and I'm like, why the fuck is this happening? This is clear collusion. Like, this is a league issue. So people start bitching at him and he tries to play it off.
It's collusion when it goes against Jesse. It's not when he has the 3 first-round picks.
He plays against it. He goes,
pretty big collusion.
He goes, well, I just figured that they're going to guard Amari Cooper and they're going to guard Michael Gallup. So this guy's going to get all the play. And I go, yeah, that's a great reasoning, except for you forgot about CD fucking Lamb.
Yeah.
So you're right. That's exactly what's going to happen, except for Michael Gallup's going to be the one who gets all the fucking play. So he goes, oh, I didn't realize that, because now he's caught. Woo! And he puts Michael Gallup back into his lineup. And because everybody said he was fucking colluding and shit.
And you got to think who's throwing to him, too.
My buddy Bo kicks Fargo and Rizzo out of the league.
Oh, damn.
Kicked him out because he was like, dude, this is clear collusion. You guys have been starting fights all year.
Yeah.
You've tried to physically fight people like twice. Like,
This
this
is
is
my
just,
kind of GM right there.
this is just bullshit. Like, I'm not dealing with it anymore.
Wow.
And he told him, you guys can finish out this year. If you win, cool, but you're done. I'm not doing it again.
Wow.
Kicks him out.
At
So-
that point, it's like walk away. Like, I mean, if you're out, they're not going to win. I would
So,
just be like,
well,
I've kicked
Fargo,
golfers out of our league before.
yeah.
Fargo had a chance to win. Rizzo didn't. He's out. But Fargo has a chance to win.
Oh, that's because that's who you're in the finals with.
No, not now. But so Fargo's fighting for this first round bye. I take
Okay.
it from him because Gallup does well, obviously, because he's fucking decent. You know, he gets like 15 points, wins it.
He is on and off, yeah.
So I take the first round bye, and my buddy's like, dude, just please don't talk any shit, because this dude can't handle any criticism. He's gonna freak the fuck out, like whatever. So I'm
Yeah.
like, fine, I won't say anything. I let it go. And he goes into his first match and he wins his first playoff game. I'm on my bye now, so I don't give a shit, you know?
Right.
He wins his first playoff game and he posts a GIF, because now he's going to face me. And he posts the GIF of Jon Snow pulling out his sword with all the horses running at him. And I don't say anything, you know? I'm like, I'm just going to let this go. And I'm texting Bo. I'm like, you got to know how hard this is for me. He's like, I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And so
I'm about to fucking hit this guy.
we go into the first round. Like, we go into the game, right? And he's got like 4 players that played before Sunday.
Yeah.
He's got Eckler, Keenan Allen, a couple of other people, and they all bomb. They're all underperforming, single-digit points. Like, I've got this pretty much in the bag, and I still don't say anything. I let it
Jeez.
go, and you know, we get to the game, and we finally get to it where I take the lead on Sunday, and I've got like 4 guys left to play. So I post the GIF from Gladiator where the kid runs out to the fucking horses and gets trampled, and he doesn't say anything. So then my guys start running up the points. I win by like 60, and I send a meme from Remember the Titans where he goes, "Run it up, Harmon, leave no doubt." And
This fucking guy. Dude.
he never said anything. I was so salty.
You can't say shit in that.
So he's died a sad death in the dirt like a fucking bum, while I go on to the championship and I'm favored 70% to win. So Fargo, if you ever listen to this, go fuck yourself. I'm the best and you haven't beat me all year. So
You guys-
suck a dick.
Are you guys in a group chat through Messenger?
It's in the Sleeper app.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was gonna say on Messenger you can call anybody.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
I wish.
All right. So Jesse's trampling his league.
Trampling them.
Last thing, well, basketball and baseball, there's a little bit of news. Basketball started, NBA's up and running
Last night.
again. A lot of
Cavs
COVID
play tonight.
disasters there. Cavs play tonight.
Yep.
I
Probably playing now, actually.
saw an article about Kevin Love about his like New York apartment he's got. That place is dope. Did you guys
Yeah.
see that going
Yeah,
around?
I saw
Uh-huh.
that. I saw pictures of it.
Dude, it's legit.
Yeah.
He said when he'd always wanted to have like this apartment in New York City, like overlooking somewhere. I went through the pictures. It's pretty legit.
Cavs are winning 65-44 at halftime right now.
Who are they playing?
The Hornets.
Hmm.
Not a great opponent, but not terrible.
Isn't that Michael
Got some
Jordan's team?
shooters. Yeah.
They're awful.
Michael Jordan's team. I finished The Last Dance finally.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
He's so good. I like Jordan, man. I feel like he gets so much shit. Like I think he more recently he gets like underplayed.
Mhm.
No, man, I think the dude was good.
Oh, he was great.
His passion and everything for the game was just I don't know. I really like that about him, regardless of his opponents were to the caliber of players today. Like I just loved the passion that he had to just be successful and win.
Yeah.
I think it really showed in that. But anyway, so I finished watching that.
Mhm.
Indians logo. Wahoo is getting the old axe, the tomahawk.
Yep.
cutting him down.
Yep.
He's no longer going to be our man in charge.
So what do you guys think about that? Because he's already been gone. We are changing the name of the Indians.
That's correct. Wahoo got 2 seasons ago. Wahoo
Yeah.
got released as like the primary logo.
It was the Block C after that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, when it comes to anything race related, like I don't have the right to say, or it's not my judgment on who it offends or if it's offensive. You know, I don't love the idea of changing it. I love the Wahoo logo. I'm not a fan of changing Indians, but I don't care enough that it's that, like, if it's offensive to enough people that they feel that it's necessary to change it, I'm not gonna like stomp my feet and like throw a fit over it.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a rebranding, which I think there could be some really cool ideas behind. There could be some new concepts,
New merch.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. People that say it erases their history, no, that's what history is.
Yeah.
Right.
It's your past. It's
You're
things that
aware that the spiders existed, so
right, yeah. It doesn't mean that the Indians, anything that they accomplished, World Series or anything like that, goes away. It's just a new era. It's different, no different than like when the Browns got sold to the Ravens and a new Browns came in. Like, it's just, it's a new beginning.
Mhm.
I don't like it. I don't want to say I don't like it. I don't love the idea of changing it. Just because that's all I've ever known. The Indians. That's what I grew up watching. Is the Cleveland Indians. But we'll see what happens with it. People are offended. You know, they apparently the front of house consulted within the community and with like Native American tribes and stuff, and came to terms that they felt that was the right thing to do. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
For me, and I was talking this out with my friend Sarah the other day. So I put myself in the shoes of, I'm obviously not an Indians fan. So for me, it'd be like, so if
I thought he was going to say, I'm obviously not an Indian. And I was like, yeah, no shit.
my pale Irish skin. No, but so I put it in the shoes of, if the Mariners, you know, were changing their name,
Yeah.
say Mariners was offensive to some group of people. Okay. To me, I would not care.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm like, look, it offends them, so that's enough to bother them.
Yep.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is when we were talking over ideas in terms of what we could replace that with, like I said, you know, an idea that both sides win is like the Cleveland Tribe, but like they said,
They
like
won't allow
she
it.
said, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, and they've already thought about that, and they said, no, we will not do that.
You'd have to call them like the Cleveland Native Americans and then get approval from Indians the Native Americans to think that that's even not whatever.
Tribes iffy though, because like, look, you could consider anything a tribe. We're a tribe. Like you know, a famous soul group, A Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's tons of examples of this. So like,
I think it would depend on if you still use any Native American affiliation.
well, I was going to say,
or
because
any-
of the history
No.
of the Indians,
Yeah.
people are going to be all pissy about it.
Yeah.
no, like none whatsoever. But the thing is, they're not banning fans from wearing like Wahoo stuff
you
and
can't.
all that.
I don't
Like
think you can.
they already said we can't do anything about that.
For the record, I could not find my Browns hat, so this is all that I had. This is not a political statement. I don't really give a shit. I'm not going to throw my hats away though either, because I don't really give a shit on that end either. So
Thanks for clarifying, Jesse, because we didn't want like anybody to burn the studios down.
You know,
and thinking
whatever.
that we were making some sort of political agenda.
for those listening, I have the Wahoo on my hat right now.
Yes. But no, I agree.
I wouldn't
Like,
care.
I don't think I don't care enough. What do you think, Jesse?
I just
mean,
don't
you
care
kinda
enough.
said you don't
I'm
care,
not a
but-
huge baseball fan. That's probably the reason why I don't care. If I loved the Indians like I do the Browns, I would be hurt.
What if it was the Browns?
If it
What
was
if
the
the Browns name was offensive?
if the Browns was let's say that they called them the Browns because of Jim
African
Brown or
Americans
something, and he was the first African player, and
Yep.
people played it off like, oh, it's because of the heritage of allowing them to play, but it wasn't really.
Mhm.
Sure, I would be very hurt. I would not want it to change. I know some diehard Indian fans who don't want it to change. People who are very liberal in their nature
Yeah.
who still don't want it to change. They're just accepting it because it's like, you know, what are we going to do otherwise?
I think it's one of those
That's funny
things
because
that
that's the
people,
definition of a liberal.
I think it's one of those things people just fight it for the sole reason of like one of those like it's against my rights, or you're taking something away from me.
Yeah.
And that's the reason you fight it, because what does the name matter? You're still going to be able to go to the games. You're still going to be able to watch the same players. You're still going to watch the same team. It's simply just that whole fact of I'm an ignorant piece of shit and I don't care about what things impact other
Yeah.
people because I don't want to open my mind. So I'm just going to fight it. There's no relevance.
Well, and the thing is like once time goes, like it's not going to matter.
It won't.
If like I didn't give a shit about the Redskins. I get that that's an actual slur.
That's the worst one to me.
It's the worst one by far, and I still didn't give a shit because I'm not Native American. It doesn't affect me. I can sympathize with those people, but ultimately it doesn't affect me. So I didn't really care that it changed. If the Washington football team makes the playoffs this year, nobody's going to give a shit about Redskins not being their name anymore.
Right.
And
True.
I liked the new I like the old school uniform that they have now with just the number on the side. I like how it looks like classic football. I think that they did a decent job with what they did, and I hope that they keep it that way.
I would say I say keep it Washington football team. Who
they
cares?
have thrown it around. They've thrown the idea around of keeping it that way. I don't want them to be the Cleveland Baseball Club.
No,
but
which I wouldn't care though.
My biggest worry is not that they're taking away the name Indians. It's that they will not have a good replacement name.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the Cleveland Rockers. I think that will be so fucking whack.
I think the Guardians would be dope.
I think Guardians is my favorite. If they had the actual, like the Guardian statue be the logo, I love the way that thing looks.
Wasn't that the arena? What's the arena football team? The Cleveland. Isn't that the Guardians?
No, they were the Gladiators.
Gladiators. That's it.
I think, like, to your point, use the Guardian statue.
Mm-hmm.
Do they go different colorway?
You don't have to with Guardians.
I would say the red, blue, and white is just like a classic colorway for Cleveland.
I think you could do
You can keep the colors.
People like the spiders because it used to be the spiders.
I like the spiders too.
And I think you could do really cool stuff with the spiders.
Cross promotion.
But the problem is, my vision, if we're the spiders, is still do black and then you keep the red and blue from the Indians.
Yep.
But then I want us to be more of like a Raiders type of franchise where you get in there. It's like all kind of like spooky Halloween type of deal.
Yeah.
I would love that. They won't do that though. And that's what's whack. We're going to end up some fucking whack ass cutesy spider or something stupid.
I saw people trying to pitch the buzzards because of the radio station, which would be so fucking lame.
No,
that's
that
like
would
a
be
minor
the dumbest
league
thing.
That's like a minor league name, the buzzards. Like that's not a
I
professional.
heard naps too. I don't like that. Cleveland
That
naps.
seems racist.
That's weird to me.
Speaking of minor league though, my favorite though, which hasn't been floated at all, so it's not going to happen. My favorite thing I wish that they would be the Cleveland Arrows because I like that. Because the Arrows was like going back to the Ohio, like, space and all that other stuff, aeronautics and all that stuff. And it was a play on that, but then it was also a play on arrows like Indians. So you still are kind of touching on that history of what you were.
I think that's why they won't though.
But it's also like, no, we've spelled it arrows. It's all about space and you can still do all the other new stuff. I think it'd be dope. It's still paying homage to what you used to be, but then you're moving forward into something that's not technically connected in any way. And I thought the Arrows was dope. It's like the perfect name.
I liked Arrows more than
Rubber Ducks is whack.
Yeah.
Rubber Ducks is whack. And that stupid fucking guy that runs that team.
Yeah.
Should be the Cleveland COVIDs.
Babby.
Fucking Akron's biggest baby.
Babby.
So yeah, we possibly gonna have a new. Is that as soon as next season? Possibly.
I think we're a couple years away. I don't remember exactly what it was.
We've already
though.
said we're getting rid of the name though, right?
They said this season they're keeping it, but
Yeah,
like
you
it's going to be after.
You can't rebrand that.
Like going into
quickly.
next season, it will be.
Yeah, so like
After this next
after this
season.
coming season, like it's done after that.
I think the one taking the biggest hits the team. I mean, you got all the rebranding they got to do.
Yeah.
New website, new
Costs money.
logo,
But the
all
thing
new
is
pamphlets and all new uniforms.
all
stadium
new merch
design.
that they're going to make money off of, though.
They'll make money off merch for sure. But I just feel like I just know like at one point in time I had to rebrand my business.
Yeah.
Because I had before Rock Everywhere, I was called Rewind. It's always been like my initials. Rock Everywhere's REW. It was Rewind, which was
That's
REW.
creative.
I
like
never
that.
even noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always like it always had my initials, but I was originally Rewind, which was Ryan Edward Weiss Industries. And there was a company in Canada who had the same name and I actually got a cease and desist for it.
Mhm.
So anyways, I had to rebrand and I just remember, and I'm on minimal level, but I remember just the fucking pain in the ass of all new business cards and a new logo and a new website.
Yeah.
Any pictures that I had that on, I had to go back and like rebrand them and re-upload them. And then you got to think on the level of like a professional baseball team.
You got to think though. That's also
insane.
that's like an $800 million franchise though. That's got people that are going to be able to beep, beep, boop, throw it all up real quick.
Like,
And
just think of the front visual. Like when you first walk up, Progressive Field, home of the Indians.
That giant thing.
Huge right there.
Yeah.
That
Now
big-
we've lost the stadium and the name. Like,
Yep.
that's going to be like a whole new thing. Like it's going to be a brand new start for.
I really hope it's Guardians. As soon as you
Guardians would
said
be
that,
dope.
I could just see the visual. You walk in, the two statues on the side of the logo,
Yes.
Guardians. You could keep the same font. Oh man, it'd be amazing.
You could do a Guardians of the Galaxy cross promotion night.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
See, that's what I was thinking. That, or even if you did the Spiders, you could do some kind of Marvel connection to Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and do some kind of cool fan night or something like that.
Call it the Web.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
I like
Come
that.
see a game down at the Web.
They better do something fucking cool, man, because I've loved it being the Indians. It's been fun. It's got to change. It is what it is. But
Yeah.
I was pissed when the arrows changed.
I was
Yeah, the
more
rubber
pissed
ducks
about the
is-
arrows than I am about the Indians.
Rubber Ducks is lame, bro. It's so fucking lame. All right. Well, I think that's all for sports. That's our
Yes.
like longest.
That's the longest sports segment we've ever had.
Long ass time. It's like 2 hours of sports. You want to get into? Let's get social real quick,
Okay.
and we'll finish off the show with Hollywood Report.
Dope.
It is July 20th, 1969, and man is about to land on the moon.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's the way the news goes.
Let's get social. So this segment is our COVID segment. Normally, we got a little bit going on though. Big thing going on is Facebook. I mean, that popped up in like the last week or in our absence is the collusion between Facebook and its entities that they own. So like Facebook and TikTok, or Facebook and Instagram. I don't even know what else they own. What do they own that's such a big deal? They're saying that there's some conglomerate.
There's some other like video app that they own that's not as well like known, but it's relatively big. I can't remember what it's called.
Basically, that they're launching an investigation into Facebook and saying that they need to be broken up.
They're
because
basically a
they're too
monopoly.
big. Yeah. Which I don't know. What do you think about that?
My whole thing is it's just like I don't think that they're a monopoly because one, you've got Twitter, which is huge, and TikTok, which is huge, that are still operating on the social media platform. Facebook's just unique in the fact of like having friends and things like that. Like it's utilized for a lot of stuff. I get what they're saying, but like I don't think anything they're doing is necessarily wrong. But like if we're going to go after Facebook, why the fuck is Disney still operating?
Right.
Who owns everything in the entire world?
They're saying that it's because they are engaged in anti-competitive behavior, whatever that means. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So they're saying that they need to be separated because, again, to your point, one, Disney, but two, you still got Twitter, which has a huge network of people.
I prefer Twitter. Over
Twitter
Facebook.
reaches a mass amount of people.
Yeah.
TikTok has blown up, and the population that it has is huge. What else? You got Twitch.
Twitch is huge.
There's several social media networks that have pull. Just because Facebook and Instagram are one, they're basically one and the same. I mean, you post the same sort of thing.
They kind of have like a
It's
monopoly
irrelevant.
on photos, I guess, is like the thing that they have.
Yeah.
And like maybe in terms of like communication, they have a monopoly on it. You're not going to use Twitter to like communicate with somebody where I would use, we use Messenger for ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't text each other. We go on Messenger. FaceTime and things like that. If you don't have an iPhone, you're going to use Facebook's like FaceTime. But
I wonder if it has something to do with the amount of political trouble that Zuckerberg has been in.
But my problem is you have more of an output. Like for Twitter is used by the president more. He's used by
this president more.
This
Let's see how much
president, not
weight
future
he's
president.
What?
But like so Twitter is unique in the fact that like I feel like I can reach a celebrity on Twitter.
You can post a dick pic on there too, and you won't get in trouble.
That too. I've been
So-
put in Facebook jail the last 2 weeks, so I'm glad you guys are getting
For
fucking
putting
brought under.
pictures of dick pics.
That
on
did not
Facebook.
happen. But like I've been blocked by athletes on Twitter for talking shit to them after a bad game.
Which ones?
I know they saw. Brandon Whedon was one. Fuck you, Brandon Whedon. You fucking suck, you piece of shit. Don't hit the button either, because I agree with it.
The
thoughts and comments
Jesse
do
not
reflect this
the
fucking
Made Motivate
podcast
in
because
any
he's a
way.
bum and everybody here knows it. Brandon Whedon sucks. You're 30 years old and you got drafted because you fucking sucked. You sucked in the major leagues. You sucked in the NFL. You're a bum.
I know what jersey someone's getting next year.
All right, let's throw. I'm in on that with you.
Anyway,
And Lamar Jackson one.
so
Dueling jerseys.
I will not wear that. You will waste your money. But like I'm not going to do that on Facebook. I'm not
Yeah.
going to reach anybody on Facebook. I believe that like Trump might have seen one of my tweets.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Trump.
I think Facebook we go to for, which is odd. I think Facebook, I post more professional stuff. like I'll post stuff on Twitter or even maybe like an Instagram story that I wouldn't post for everyone to be able to see permanently on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because you can post a story on Instagram, it's gone in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Twitter, I don't have as much of a following. It's not like I know not as many people follow me or see me on there, and it's so quick. The feed goes so fast.
Yeah.
You post something and it's gone.
Right.
Unless someone's going to your profile and clicking, it really
if you got
cares
famous,
enough
we'd be fucked.
Right.
If this podcast ever takes off, we're gonna be shut down.
I mean,
the second we make money.
The only thing people would find out if they search for my Twitter would be that I follow a bunch of good-looking women who might engage in adult
nefarious affairs.
Exactly. I don't think that's enough to get us in trouble. It's not anything illegal.
Oh,
I don't care. I'm single.
But there's, well, I don't mind sharing. I don't, whatever. I don't care. I like women. I think that they're attractive species of humans.
Amen.
Whatever. Anyhow, but Facebook, I post stuff more that like I'm more cautious about what I post on there because I think more people access it, see it. I got a bigger following on there.
I am not. Thus the Facebook jail.
Right. Well, I've been there as well, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on Facebook being broken up? Do you think they're doing anything nefarious or illegal, or they're putting us in jeopardy as far as social media goes because of the length or extent of their network?
Well, the whole debate is whether or not they have a monopoly on social media. And for my money is, I don't think they do. And I don't think you can have that at any point in social media. You know, if this thing goes for 500 more years, there is literally new social media apps that are created every day.
Right.
And, you know, blow up TikTok. You know, it was there for, I think, a couple years before it really blew up like this year.
Musically, I think is what it was called.
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah. Yep. That's right. But this year, huge because of the whole quarantine and everybody indoors and all that social distancing. Yeah. For my money, no. I just think there's
that's the thing. Perfect point for your money. It's a free network.
Yeah.
They should be able to do what they want. It's a free service that you don't need to use for it. It doesn't provide you with anything life sustaining. You do not need that network to be able to live your life. And it's a free provided service. So,
well, and that's my biggest problem.
It shouldn't matter what they're. It's not like cable networks or something like that. Like I don't know. Even there, you don't. It's not required. You don't need it.
Yeah. Well, and that's when you get into like you brought up cable networks, like HBO. They put on stuff that, you know, in the past people were like, this is damn near porn and stuff, but they were able to do it because it was their own network. Yeah. People were paying to see it, so you could do what you wanted.
Yep.
Facebook is the same way. Like people get pissed because they're. Like with COVID was the first time we really saw them start censoring stuff outside of like nudity.
Yep.
And they were like, well, you know, so many people use this. We feel obligated to make sure that the truth is being released. And if it's not the truth about something serious like COVID, we're going to shut it down. People were saying it was against the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. You accepted the terms of service to use that platform. And I don't think it's right that just because 1 billion people are on, you know, let's say 1 in fucking 10 people in the entire world uses Facebook, just because it's that popular does not mean that we should be able to restrict them by government rule.
Right.
And the people that are so happy about this are the people that are anti-government.
Right.
Like, why are you allowing the government to do anything with your fucking social media?
Right.
Well, and the thing I was just going to say is, there is different levels of a monopoly. So like you can have an ad monopoly. Like if, you know, Facebook tells, we'll say Burger King that they can't advertise on any social media platform except ours. That is a monopoly.
Sure.
That is considered that. Now I don't know how the extent of this lawsuit, you know, does it extend to those kind of small details and stuff like that? Or are we just talking social media in general?
They're saying that they are engaged in what was the word I said? Anti-competitive nature. But even to so here's my thing. Even to your point of the Wendy's or Burger King thing. Facebook was started by Mark Zuckerberg. It's Mark Zuckerberg's company. He owns the platform. He ultimately has the decision on how it operates, what he allows, what he doesn't allow. He can generate what bylaws he wants. He could tomorrow wake up and say, you know what? We're going to have full nudity on here, just like Twitter does. We don't care. Instagram has become a little bit more lax with it. They had some issues with people complaining.
It has to be like artistic now or something.
Yeah, they started uncensoring some stuff. So
good luck proving that.
Female body itself is art.
Yeah,
you should be able to post it as you want. Free.
That's my point.
But here's my question. Mark Zuckerberg started this company. He offers it for free. It's his network to do with what he wants. If he wanted to say, you know what, we're only going to allow Burger King to advertise on here, we're going to partner with Burger King. What's from stopping him from doing that? Why is he not allowed? Why would he not be allowed to do that? Would he not be allowed to do that? Is that an issue?
He probably would not be allowed to do that, but I don't agree with the reasons why.
Right. But why though?
I think it simply comes down to the point of reach revenue. Because of the fact that it reaches so many people. Now the government can step in and say, you have too much power. I think it's a power grab. I honestly think it's a power grab. I think that they are worried about what they put out. I think that you look at it and you go, well, you know, you're not putting out the statement that we think is right with COVID. I think it's the timing.
In terms of fact checking, you're saying?
The timing is very convenient.
Yeah.
Once they started fact checking the government and saying like, hey, no, the government is lying in this point here or this point here, or hey, what this speech said is not true regarding this disease or this virus. They came in and they went, well, you know, we don't really like the fact that you're shutting us down. Fuck you. We're going to divide you up. And I don't think that that's right, but I think that's ultimately what happened.
So, and to that point, I think that I would agree with it when it comes down to a betterment of society, a betterment of the people.
Sure.
I think that's
but that's not a betterment to have.
Right. No, but I think that's the only time where I would agree with the government having any involvement. If it was a site promoting hate or violence,
100%,
or treason or any kind of terrorist activity or something, okay, that's an issue with national security.
Sure,
we need to step in. If Facebook wants to say I like Burger King more than Wendy's, and that's who we're going to partner with, and that's who can advertise on our website, there's no government that should have any right in what they do if it's not causing any issue to the safety of the country or our people.
Yeah.
The COVID thing, okay, if they're promoting untrue stuff that could then put the society in jeopardy because of it, because they're promoting false information that then is going to cause people to get sick or something. If they're promoting untrue information about a political member that could cause them harm or some kind of issue that way, okay, I get the government involvement then. Outside of that, as a free service that wants to promote a business they do or do not want to promote because that's their decision, it shouldn't matter how big they got. Facebook got this big because they created a successful platform that people want to be a part of.
Yeah. And to a point that each of us have made in this. So like with the fact checking in terms of, you know, that came out and it pissed people off because they couldn't post what they wanted to post and all that stuff. Well, what happened? So another social media platform came along like Parler and took, I don't want to say a lot of their clientele, but they did take a decent amount. Yeah, I know, but I'm just making a point. So they came along, made another, which thus separated the monopoly even more because now this other social media is coming along and taking those. And you can't prove it with this kind of thing. Facebook is going to make their movements how they decide to see fit, like you said.
Yep.
And ultimately, it might cost them some people. It might gain them some people, but that's not a monopoly.
But that's you made a perfect point there. If you don't like what Facebook has to offer on their free network, go to Parler.
Yep.
If you want to go to another network that's offering the beliefs that you want to have involvement in, there's probably a network out there.
Yeah.
If this podcast got big enough that we had the reach that a Facebook did, and the government would then have the ability to tell us what we could and could not talk about.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
That's crazy.
And that's the thing is Facebook does not actually have a monopoly. They just happen to do what that particular area is best.
Yes.
They are the best in social media.
That's why MySpace isn't like that great anymore.
I prefer Facebook or Twitter, but Facebook has a reach on things that Twitter cannot do. I cannot promote my business on Twitter. I cannot promote my articles on Twitter the way that I can on Facebook. And the reason, and I go back to this fact checking thing, that is the one reason that they did this, because Disney fucking owns ESPN, and they just bought Fox, and they're buying up everything. They own everything, but nobody's doing this to Disney because Disney does not take a political stance on anything.
Yep.
Disney just wants to make money, but they own the largest movie franchise in history with Star Wars. They own the largest superhero franchise in Marvel. They own ESPN, which is the largest franchise in sports. They own everything at the largest level, but nobody is going to Disney to stop them and break them up because Disney doesn't make political stances.
I think that's bigger than the Facebook one.
What do we call it? Where we can make as much as we want and own it. What's
capitalism?
Yeah. So in our country, you can be as successful as you want, and they're not capping what Amazon makes. Jeff Bezos is the richest person in the world.
That's the other. I think Amazon's closer to a monopoly than anything else.
So what right does and I teeter on my belief with capitalism because I think it's crazy for someone to have as much wealth as they can, but at the same point, like, they created a product in a business that yielded them that wealth, and we all enjoyed it enough to the point that we've given them that wealth. So who is to say that they shouldn't be able to reap the benefits of that? But Jeff Bezos is worth as much as he's worth because of what he created.
I don't care how much you make as long as you pay your due in taxes.
No, I right.
And that's the point of capitalism. So there's a bad side for everything, and there's a good side.
Right.
So you might not like that upper 1%, is like up here while the next percentage is down here. But that's what capitalism is.
Yeah.
You want that system. That's how it's going to be.
Yep. And then like with your point of Disney, like, yeah, they've been successful in the business structure that they created that have yielded them the wealth to buy out and purchase what they've decided to buy out and purchase. Yeah. Who is it to step in and say that that's a monopoly now? Like, government is tough, man.
My biggest thing
is there's so much other things that are important to worry about than Disney owning too much media.
Well, look at the grasp that these companies have. If you look at Facebook has not put anybody out of business.
Nope.
Maybe MySpace. That was the one thing. They put MySpace workers out of business eventually because they had a better platform.
And they created a superior product.
Yeah. Right. They created a superior product, but they're not putting people out of business at Twitter. Twitch still exists. TikTok still exists. All these things still exist. And if we were smart enough to create an app that was successful, we would become millionaires overnight and we would be able to succeed despite Facebook.
Yep.
If you look at things like Amazon, though, Amazon is putting libraries out of existence because people buy their books on Amazon instead of going to the library. They are putting Toys R Us is a direct one that people know from their childhood. Toys R Us went out of business specifically because of Amazon, because they sold toys through Amazon and they did not sign the contract the correct way. They put Toys R Us out of business. That's why that doesn't exist anymore. They're putting malls around the world are going out of business because of Amazon, because people are not wanting to go to the mall anymore. They're wanting to buy things online.
But is that because of Amazon? I mean, or is it because of the
it's
US
not because of directly.
We want to have the
it's the convenience.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's the convenience of Amazon, but ultimately the existence of Amazon has actually put people out of work. And it's also created millions of jobs because people are shipping the products for them. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But when you get into it, you look at places like Disney. Disney is also doing the same thing. They're putting people out of business because they're creating the best product, which I don't have a problem with. But you can't tell me that Facebook is a monopoly and Disney and Amazon are not.
Yep.
There's no way that you will ever convince me of that, because Amazon owns all of the major purchasing product out in the world. And Disney owns most of the media. They own Fox News, Fox Network, fucking ESPN, all of the sports. They own everything. You cannot tell me that you were playing fair when you try to go after Facebook and you're not going after all of these other programs. It's not about a monopoly. It is about politics involvement that they do not agree with.
I 100% agree with that, because Amazon, and the thing about Amazon just did it right, and they did it at the right time.
Yeah.
And they were willing to adapt to a new way of purchasing things before other companies were allotting to it, because everyone has the ability to shop online.
Sure.
PacSun, you can go online. Target can go online. They all ship now. They all have now adapted to Amazon because of how successful they were, and they knew what jeopardy they were put in because of Amazon.
They redefined the system.
Amazon redefined and single-handedly put in jeopardy retail as a whole.
Yeah, well, and I think Amazon is a big reason why you don't have, like, when I was in school, you were like a Hollister kid, an American Eagle kid, a Abercrombie kid. Like, I was an American Eagle kid. I got American Eagle. I didn't buy Hollister. I'm not going to do that. I'm an American Eagle dude. 1976 or whatever the year was. That's on all their clothes.
I would have pegged you as an Aeropostale dude.
I was not. But you don't see that anymore. Like, there's not a lot of, like, when you look at fashion today and stuff, like, there's not a lot of, there's still name brand and you know what's nice. But when you look at what people are wearing, like, it's very much a general, like, you can look good despite what you're wearing. Like, you could be a Nike kid who just wears like a bunch of Nike stuff and people are going to accept you. Or you could be like a lot of, you could be like a preppy kid, but you might wear all of the clothes. And it's because a lot of that stuff is available clothing wise on Amazon, and people shop online now. And I don't know, it's just interesting to me.
Yeah. It's, to me, it's almost one of those things like, you know, you're making the points on the shopping malls and all that, but yeah, it does. It comes down to convenience, and it's commercialism is a lot like the evolution of man, basically. You know, it happens. There's going to be, you know, booms every now and then that, you know, create these movements, these pivotal key movements in consumerism that changes the game. There'll be another one that shuts Amazon down someday. It's hard to think right now about that, and to think that, wow, there's going to come a time where they're not going to be as strong as they are now, but it happens. People didn't think the shopping malls was going to be the victim, but it happens.
I think more so even than Amazon is its technology as a whole. I think Amazon created it at the right time when the peak of technology was coming, and the iPhones and the Androids and surfing the web and the easy, quick access to
Perfect
stuff.
storm.
And they just succeeded off of that because we've become so involved in doing everything online. Why not shopping? You know, so they just happen to do it at the perfect timing. Amazon started as a library, an online bookstore, you know, and then they just slowly started to evolve as they saw things kind of changing in the way society was operating. But it's so, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like government involvement in certain things doesn't make sense to me. You know, like we're not supposed to be answering to them for our own successes or the things that we create or do. Like they're not creating harm. They're not like Facebook, Amazon, Disney, whatever it is. Like until it creates an issue where it's causing an unsafe society to our people, it shouldn't matter.
Would you say bullying is an unsafe society?
I think bullying, like in a direct sense of like bullying a person, I think that's something where like Facebook, I think, does a good job about restricting, and I think that they take on that rule. But what do you mean? Anything in particular?
I was just saying, so in terms of just your random chat, so like a random post or something, if you know, we have a local news establishment here that, you know, gets into that a lot. So if, you know, 100 people gang up on one person or whatever and say, oh, you're stupid, you're an idiot, your beliefs are dumb, and, you know, you don't make sense, and all this stuff, and on and on. Facebook, now I agree with what you said. They've taken an initiative to try to cut down on that stuff, but ultimately they never can, they never will. It's impossible.
Jesse is in jail for being a bully right
Just got
now
out
at
of
this
jail.
very moment. So I think to a point, I think that's tough.
Yeah.
I think that bullying is a very serious thing by all means.
For
I
sure.
think that in more years, and I think it's the way that we raise our children now. I think the society that we live in now is more susceptible to bullying than it was before. I got picked on growing up.
Yeah, me too.
What was it called? What was it called when you were a freshman? When you were a freshman, and then like seniors, they'd
Pays you?
Yeah, like you would get bullied by the
Freshman
upper
pays.
class as a freshman or whatever.
Okay.
That happened to me. Like, dude, I would get beat up in the hallway by seniors who ultimately were like my friends because my brother was a senior when I was a freshman. And they would pick on me because of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had this one dude, Lance, who would wail on me, like legit. I think he broke my ribs one year, and we were in the same math class together. And then he'd be like, "What's up, bro? What's going on? You want to help me with my homework?" Like bullying was a real thing.
Yeah.
You want to do my homework for me, bitch?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And it's like, yes, okay, please.
You know, so I got
do
like
homework.
I got like freshman hazing, or like, you know, I got that kind of thing in school, and bullying is a very real thing. But on social media, to what extent? I don't know. I think we're given the ability as the individual to put a stop to it as soon as we want. There's blocking features. There's unfollowing. You can make your social media private. I think if it comes into, I think it crosses a certain line, you know, where if you're like threatening nature or tell someone to go kill themselves or something like that, you cross a boundary. Telling someone to fuck off, maybe.
I told somebody that they were a racist piece of shit and got 3 days for it. The first time I got put in jail, okay, I crossed the line a little bit. But this time,
I don't think calling someone a racist piece of shit is bullying, though.
I don't think so either.
If you're a racist, you are a piece
Especially
of
if you've
shit.
proven it. Yeah, that's...
He proved it pretty well, but, you know, whatever. I don't think he got any time. I don't know him personally.
So to your point, Chris, I think that's a fine. I think that's one of those things where it's a hard... There's a hard line. Like, how do we make that decision in? Because then what one person considers bullying over somebody else could be two completely different things.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think Facebook tries to do a good... I think they try to monitor that the best they can. I think a lot of it comes on us as the users of the platform to also make that relevant to them. Because if you do reporting of it, like if enough people report it, they look into it, and then Jesse gets blocked and goes into jail for it.
It was all bad.
To your example of like the network you're talking about, I know that they've taken it upon themselves to say, hey, let us know and we'll try and deal with it as we feel fit. I don't know, man.
I feel like
think
they're
that's part of the
watching me now.
I think they probably are.
They got me once. They got me once, and then
they
the
know
next time I was gone for like the smallest thing. I was like, what the fuck? Like the first time was way worse than this.
They probably, if you get put in jail or whatever, blocked or whatever, I think they probably put a monitor on you.
Yeah.
For
My
a
buddy
period
told
of
me next time I
after.
fuck up, I'm getting a week, and then it's a month, and then it's like a long time.
Dude, I had a full week, and it was my first time. I didn't even have like
What'd
that.
you do?
I don't remember, man. Someone reported something that I posted that they didn't like. Like, I don't ever remember posting something that I shouldn't have. And then I got this Facebook jail for a week, and it was awful. Cause see, you got the easy Facebook jail.
Oh no, I didn't.
No,
I can't even like anything,
bro. I couldn't even message. I couldn't even use Messenger.
That's one thing I've been able to do.
Full week of no liking, no commenting, no posting, no Facebook Messenger. Now you got to think how it affected me because I operate a business on Facebook.
Yeah.
I couldn't respond to any like photography requests or inquiries, nothing for my clothing line, nothing. I had no access. I came back to an influx of customer requests and stuff. And I'm like, I was in Facebook.
Did you learn
jail.
your lesson?
I haven't been in Facebook jail since.
Well,
but I don't even know what
I went in
did.
Facebook jail 2 days later.
So I wonder who defines what the crime is and like what's the extent to that, you know, like how one guy could look at one case and go, well, he deserves a week or he deserves a day.
Right.
So for instance, what happened to me, I'm in a sports group. I've been in it for 3 years. It is full of guys who we've all been in it for a long time. We don't know each other personally. Some of us do a couple times, like the radio show I went on to with this guy named Randy. I've known him for a couple of years, met him in person, but for the most part, we just know each other by this group, this guy got on there and we were talking shit about sports, like whatever. And he was saying something about Baker Mayfield being, piece of shit. And he called me Peter Pan. I'm like the only white guy in this group, right? So I get it. Whatever. You go for the Peter Pan route. That's fine. I came back and I called him a fucking fruitcake. And I said, you don't have a single female in any of your photos. I think that you're probably a fucking fruitcake.
Well, that's kind of bullying.
So
the calling the guy a racist piece of shit, I don't agree with.
So,
but the other one,
I got a day for that. 2 days later,
The thoughts and comments of Jesse Young do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast.
I just gave back to him what he was giving
You're
me.
in podcast jail.
Facebook's looking at it going, oh, well, they called him Peter Pan, but he called him a fruitcake. That's actually a slur. So we're going to go. We called each other the same fucking thing. We were both saying each other was gay, whatever. So we go into the 2 days later. I'm on WKYC. And this dude says, it was after Marcus Peters spit on Jarvis Landry.
Bro.
And he goes, Marcus Peters is a ghetto piece of shit. You know what? He says, you know what? We all know what he's saying for the you know what.
Yeah.
It starts with an N and it ends with an R.
Yeah.
And so I say, what does you know what stand for? Does it start with an N, you racist piece of shit?
Dang.
I got 3 days for that. I'm defending the guy. I'm the one not being a racist.
Spitting on someone is got to be the most offensive, insulting thing you can do.
I've told
I will
people,
beat someone's
I've told
ass for
principals
that.
in the past, if a kid spits on me,
I'll get
I will
fired.
lose my job that day, because we had a guy who got spit on and
Especially
he
now.
yoked a kid up and he got put on suspension for the rest of the year. He ended up beating the case, but like the kid spit on him and called him the N-word, and he just pushed the kid into his seat.
Yeah.
And he got the rest of the year for that. Almost got fired for it. But I told him, I'm like, look, that would have been that's the best that would have happened. Because if a kid does that to me, I don't know what's going to happen.
Bro, have you guys watched that movie Unbelievable on Netflix? The
No.
Netflix
I remember you
documentary?
were telling me about
I just
it.
watched it. That was one of the documentaries I watched. It's like a true story about like a sex offender guy, like rapes women and stuff. But one of the detectives is investigating someone, and a cop, and he finds out that he's being investigated through a friend of a cop or whatever. Anyways, she's trying to like lure him in, and he knows that she's a cop, and he spits in her face on the show. And man, my blood boiled, and this chick just took it. And I'm like, bro, I don't know how you sat. I mean, it's a show, obviously, but like he just was like, you fucking cunt, and like hawkered on her face. And I instantly was just so mad inside. I'm like, I want to fuck that dude's life up right now.
Yeah. No, you spit in my face, we're going at it. I don't care how
So
big you are. I don't care how
insulting.
small you are. Like, you're going to get, at the very least, you're getting the shit slapped out of you.
Yeah.
I will get my ass beat. I don't even care
Yeah.
if that's the result is if someone spits in my face.
Not gonna be any
Like,
super bad moments. What do you want me to do? Dive in front of a spit? You really bitched out back there, man.
Got it just trailing down.
bro, it's so fucked up.
I bitched out. You bitched out.
God, we still need to make that happen.
We need to do it.
I'm down.
Fuck. I don't even know. We went off a big tangent of Facebook.
Fuck Facebook.
Facebook jail and shit. Anyways, they're being investigated. I think it's ridiculous. I think the government needs to focus on more important things.
We'll get to that later.
Which we can talk about. What else we got going on? So the vaccine has rolled out. Chris gets his vaccine the 30th.
1 week from today.
So Chris is a healthcare worker. So he's required
Die for the rest of us by taking this vaccine.
So he's required to take the vaccine. If you're not following him already, we tag him in every show and follow him because he's going to be telling us his story of the vaccine and how he reacts to it. But apparently, they started with nurses and doctors and things like that. And there have been some adverse reactions to the vaccine. People getting sick. I know, like, there was a nurse that was hospitalized for several days because of it.
Has anybody died from the vaccine?
Not that I'm aware of. It's just mainly been sick to a more extensive period than like the normal getting a flu shot type thing, where you're going to get sick and
you
not
don't just
feel
gross. You're actually having bad side effects.
There's been several, but to the point of, I think that the percentage is probably very small. I think the one was 2 healthcare workers in Alaska out of, well, I guess it's Alaska, so it might have been 2 of 4 people for all we know, because it's fucking Alaska.
54 people in that state.
But 2 people got, 2 of the healthcare workers, the nurses, got really sick. One into the ICU or intensive care unit, very sick.
They're saying teachers are next in line, so I'm probably not that far behind you.
Yeah. There was a hospital in Illinois that has ceased giving the vaccine at this point because so many of the people were getting sick from it that they were at a concern of we don't want to take our healthcare workers out. Here's the deal. You're giving this to I don't know how many they've administered at this point, but you're going to have a small percentage of people that have adverse effects.
Well, yeah.
There's allergies to anything.
Yep.
I think that you're going to have that. I don't think that undermines the vaccine. I still wouldn't want to be one of the first to take it.
Right.
Here's my thing. We'll get to a question from Chris because he's gonna have to take it here soon. But here's my thing, and I haven't researched it. Hopefully, one of you have, or maybe you haven't. But all these people going on TV and taking the vaccine. Have you seen the stories about the fake vaccines
it's
being
not true.
given? It's all fake.
Yeah.
Because I saw the one where it was they didn't push the plunger.
Empty.
One where the cap was still on it when they supposedly gave it to them. They never removed the syringe cap for it.
Mhm.
And they zoom in and it shows it's plungered already. And then there's a seal on it. They never gave it to them.
Mhm.
It's all these people manipulating it.
So I shouldn't say that it's entirely false because the plunger is down when he gives it to the male nurse. The key with it though is that right after that happened, they realized it off camera and then they did it all over again. So the guy
not on camera.
Not on camera. Yeah. So here's the thing. Now here's why I understand perception the way that it is, because look, you're a healthcare professional and you're going on TV.
Yeah.
Okay. This has to be as real as possible. During a time when 40% of people are afraid to get this done and take this, you fucked up bad.
You can't, to that exact point, you're a healthcare worker who I am trusting with doing this right, giving me a vaccine that's going to save my life. And you just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not realize what you're doing?
Yeah. It was already pushed down, I guess.
Yeah.
So
they're saying you have to push the plunger in order to release it. And it was already down. So my thing is, if it's already down, was there even anything in it? It seems skeptical to me.
From that angle, it's hard to say if there was anything in it because people can say they can't, but it's a clear liquid. My whole thing is at this point, okay, obviously you're going to say, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. It just looks bad. But that's what I'm saying.
Here's my thing. Of course, if you got called out by millions of people that you did it wrong, you're going to say that after the fact you did it right.
Sure. Something they would say. Yeah.
Message to all you fucking conspiracy theorists. I am not a conspiracy theorist. I am a man of fact. If I am part of a global elite that is trying to get you to take this vaccine because it is the mark of the beast, or I'm just trying to kill you, or whatever conspiracy you
tracer in
want to come up, or it's a microchip and I work for Bill Gates, whatever storyline you want to go for. If I'm going to put on a facade by having some higher up elites like Biden, Bush, and Clinton all get these vaccines, and I'm going to fake it, I'm not going to fuck up by having a plunger already put down or keeping the cap on and saying, hey, we're just going to poke you, but we're going to keep the cap on. Even though we have high definition cameras on you, we're going to keep the fucking cap on.
Right.
No, they're going to fill that fucking thing with some salt water and they're going to shoot it into their vein.
Right.
They're not going to fuck up by putting a cap on it. You fucking idiots. You guys are fucking stupid.
And JC is now in podcast jail. That is bullying, sir.
You guys are fucking idiots. I fucking hate you.
You're now being censored. No, I agree. That's the thing. Like, I'm not a conspiracy. It just looks bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
As much emphasis as they were putting on, like, we're going to go on TV and we're going to prove to you that it's safe and we're going to do it ourselves. And then to fuck up on more than one case.
Yes.
Just, you look fucking stupid
It's
and
like
incompetent.
My students tell me, they're like, nah, man, like Jay-Z and Beyonce, they sold their souls to the devil. They threw up the Illuminati symbol. And I'm going, I go, so what do you think is more likely? They actually sold their soul to the devil and became millionaires because of that? Or you're sitting here talking about them, even though you don't listen to their music, because they just went like this, and now they're on the radar more and making a shitload of money because of it. Which is more likely? Yeah. And then they tell me it's more likely that they sold their soul to the devil, and I ask them, why hasn't everybody done that? And then they can't give me an answer because conspiracy theorists are fucking dumb.
Hey guys, throw it up. We've sold our souls.
I have an Illuminati all-seeing eye that I laminated and cut out, and it's in my room, and I hid it up in the walls, and I always just wait for a kid to like notice it. And like regularly, like me and my buddy Dan, who's our social studies teacher, we like throw up the little triangle to each other and shit just to see if we can get them to like get a ride. Oh my fucking god, Unc's a fucking Illuminati. But nobody's ever picked up on it, and I'm just like,
just start doing it like off to the side every once in a while.
If anybody's gonna be Illuminati, it's gonna be me, not Jay-Z. I'm gonna corrupt the young minds of America. He's just a fucking rapper, but whatever. I don't know.
So with anything that has attention on the public eye to it, like obviously, and especially conspiracy theorists, they're going to believe the two bad cases. I'm not saying there's just two here. I'm saying the small percentage. They're going to believe the small percentage over the 500,000 that have had it and had no problems with it whatsoever.
People are always going to believe what they want and what fits their story.
Yeah.
So in this point, they're going to say, oh, these healthcare workers are getting deathly ill. There's obviously something wrong with that, but it's going to happen with anything.
Yeah.
You know, they did their testing over however many thousands of people we've talked about over the last couple months, and the percentage was very well as far as it working. I don't think it rains anything negative upon the vaccine. Chris will take it. We will see how it works out for you.
What was your question?
I don't think I had one. Just your perception on, if you had any concerns or anything with you having to take it, if you feel that you should be required to take it, what your thought is on that as far as mandating.
I think it's strange because like, so where I work, like we have to take it. The employees do, but we found
Chris is a healthcare worker at Barberton City Schools where Jesse works.
That's right.
It's a lovely little quaint town. So anyway, but we found out a couple of days ago, our residents don't have to.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense to me. So, my whole thing going into it is just, to mandate it is a little much. Like, see, here's the thing. I'm going to get it done. I was going to regardless. Like, it's just probably would have been in March or April, something like that. Like, once I see enough people have gotten it, and now I know, like, my mind is subdued from all the bullshit online, then I would have gotten it. But to be one of the first ones, I'd be lying if I said there's no fear whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Within me. But
I think anytime that they put any forced mandate on it, you should be, what's the word? You should be able to have some sort of kickback if something were to happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't choosing to take this. If you were to, for some reason, get very sick from it or something, If it's me and I'm forced by my employer or my government to take this, and then I end up very ill or something, I'm suing the fuck out of all you.
Yeah, and the
You're
fact
all going down.
and the fact that they said there will be no lawsuits, like in terms of like they're like we are
There's, like,
absolving
no way that you
ourselves
can.
of
the government is saying that, or the
Yes.
employers?
the government is saying that all businesses, all everywhere is absolved of responsibility.
Well,
The
the
business
the
itself
businesses
might.
he wouldn't be able to either, though,
No.
probably because they're going to be able to say, well, you could have just said we're going to work somewhere else. They're going to have that loophole.
Yeah.
Question for you.
I think you still have the ability, even without it. I still think this is America. You can sue for whatever the fuck you want.
Sure you will.
I tell you damn well, if you got sick from
you get a
this,
good lawyer,
and
you're going to win.
You get a good lawyer and you get enough other people that got sick and you file a class action lawsuit, you're suing and you're getting some sort of money. They're going to settle. They're not going to make a big spectacle of it because they're not going to want to scare other people into not taking or whatever. But you're going to get some money out of it.
Hush, hush, be quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, question for you. Right now, they're saying that the virus or the vaccine is like over 99% effective.
Mhm.
Very similar numbers to what people are saying is not a big deal with COVID.
Right.
I think that Chris is going to be fine. I joke about growing gills or getting superpowers or something, but I honestly do think you're going to be
badass.
okay.
You might end up being a Steelers fan from it.
But that would be the downside.
If that happened,
If that happens, I ain't taking that shit. All right. Fuck the vaccine. Government can't make me do nothing.
there's always a way out.
But so let's say that these numbers, Jesus, bro, you fucking goddamn
Freaking
spitting
drooling
on yourself.
mutant.
Fucking idiot.
Chunk.
Like 3 of yours.
If Chris has positive or negative effects based off of what he does, will that influence your decision, or will you look at the numbers and go, Chris was just one of the 0.5% that happened to get really sick?
I don't think, I'm just curious to see someone firsthand that like I know directly as far as like how they react to it and like what Chris's experience is, just like talking to Matt and talking to Carter and stuff about their firsthand direction with like COVID and having that. I don't personally want to be involved in the first group of anything. I think that that's just a scary thing, especially with something this quickly that's gone, something that's normally a 2 to 3 year process.
Yep.
Happening in 6 months is
To
just
be fair, they've also used way more people than they typically would.
no, I'm not, and it's probably not faulty.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to voluntarily choose to say, hey, yeah, sign me up, let me take it, when I don't really know. Like, yeah, case studies and stuff always are worrisome to me because you don't really know too much about them.
Yeah.
They did these case studies, they tested these people somewhere, whatever, and they tell you what they came out from it. They're not going to come out and say, oh, yep, half the people died, because they're not going to do that. It's not going to fit their agenda.
And those people probably have NDAs and stuff.
Exactly. So, and that's, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not, but I also don't get vaccines. Like I got them as a kid, like whatever you were required to do. I haven't had a flu vaccine or a flu shot in
I don't get the flu shot
15
either.
some years. You know, I haven't got, the only time I've gotten a shot or anything recently, 10 some years ago, I had to get a tetanus shot for an incident I don't want to discuss, but like I was forced upon me and I didn't have any other choice.
Yeah.
But like taking the COVID shot voluntarily, I'm going to pass. I'm going to see what Chris says. I honestly don't know if I'll ever take it.
I'll stand up for the flu vaccine against anybody. Like I in my experiences, it's been great.
Yeah.
If I do get sick, it's usually like once a year and it's like 24-hour sleep. I'm good. Like, right after that, I'm good.
See, I'm going to
counterpoint to that. I've never gotten sick. I usually don't. I got a flu vaccine when I was working at the school because they had the people there and they had more shots than they had kids. And they said, if a teacher wants it, you can come and get it. I said, fuck it. It's free.
How long ago was that?
This is 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a bad reaction or if it was just like that. You get the shot and then you get sick type of thing. But I was out of work for 3 days and that was the most days I'd ever lost because of sickness at that time.
You basically get it. When you get the vaccine, they give you a small dosage of the sickness, I think, or whatever.
But you also got sick at the start of the year too.
That is true. And I never got sick again that year. So it might have worked. Usually I get sick I usually get sick twice a year. I get sick around October when it starts getting cold and the seasons change. And then I get sick again around like February.
Yeah. I rarely get sick. Like I can't remember the last time I had like the flu, like in bed, throwing up, like stomach, like whatever flu, I don't. and I don't get the flu shot. And not to sound, this is going to sound conspiracy theorist or whatever, but talking to some friends that are in healthcare, nurses and whatever, they've admitted or openly said that they think the flu shot is pointless because the flu changes so quickly and mutates so fast that when you're getting it, it's the shot that's going to fight the previous year's
It only
flu.
protects a certain amount of strains.
So it's like, it's not that makes it nonsensical to take it.
It's only 70% effective.
But it's not, the effective rate may not be there. And I guess for me, it's like, I don't know, this probably sounds selfish. I'm like, I'm gonna get the flu. Okay. I'm gonna like throw up and feel crappy for a couple of days. It's whatever. I don't need the shot. It's not gonna save my life. And I'm not gonna like die from the flu. Hopefully.
Most likely you're not.
Most likely. There's 99.9% probably. I don't know. What's COVID? It's more than COVID.
It's less than COVID.
To some people, it's more people are dying.
You're less likely to die from the flu than COVID.
That's
the same thing.
That's what I meant. Yeah. But anyways, so I'm not anti-vaccine. I think that it's important to a certain extent. I think like as kids and stuff, when you're in a public setting and you put people at risk of, very serious illnesses and things, it's something that should be considered. As an adult, I think it's odd that we're mandating anything as far as anything medical wise. I think that we should be given the choice to do what we want with our bodies. If we're not posing a threat to anybody directly ourselves, I don't think they have the right to mandate anything upon us. I think that's a fine line, especially in a democracy or a free country or free world as we're supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that very interesting. I'd be interested to see if it becomes more mandated than just what they've even somehow been allowed to do within the healthcare facilities.
Well, they're saying like that card is gonna, there's a possibility that it might get you into grocery stores and it might get you into like, flights and whatever like that. And if you don't have that card, they've talked about, limiting your travel or limiting anything.
That's where the mark of the beast comes into play.
But I was going to say, even outside of that, and I don't want to sound like one of those people, but I feel like that you're putting in place something that is going to create a very adverse effect on your people versus your government. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they have a place to say that you can't do that. I don't know, man. That's just a hard battle to me. I think saying like, this is your get out of jail free card, basically, like you can come here and do this, this, and this, and without it, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know. That's just a slippery slope for me.
You're going to kill your businesses because people are just going to be like, well, fuck it. If the diehard people, I'm not getting the vaccine, they're just going to order curbside to go on Giant Eagle and for their groceries and things like that. And they'll start going to Hello Fresh or whatever the business is, and they'll start getting their stuff shipped to their house.
They're going to go to the places that will allow them to do business there without it. Yep. It's going to put the people against business. It's going to put more people against government. And I think that's probably, for me, it's more of a selfish thing. I think it's like, like I'm not gonna take it because you're trying to force me to do it, and that's stupid. But at the same time, like
if Chris turns out perfectly fine, doesn't get a single sniffle from it, and he never catches COVID, we're probably gonna get the vaccine because we know a personal person who got it and was fine, and we will get that, and that will expand to other people. I think I will.
I don't know if I will though. Like I don't know. And this isn't just vaccines. Like I am and not anti-medicine, but I like to personally heal. I don't take medicine. I don't take Tylenol. I don't take Advil. I don't take cough medicine. When I'm sick, I fight it out, man. And I know like that some people think that's stupid. Like, oh,
so we'll be
my immune system better.
Ryan will die.
Right. But that's just how I've always been. Like there's so much stuff in those drugs and there's so much stuff in medicines and things that I try and just let my body fight it on its own. I don't know. I've always been that way. I'm just not big on taking medicines.
I'm with you. I don't take a lot of medicine either unless I'm really sick.
Yeah.
Like just recently, I started taking like a lot of vitamins and stuff because of all the COVID stuff. So I'm taking like zinc, vitamin D, vitamin B12. I'm taking a baby aspirin every day and stuff because that's what I was advised to do.
Right.
But like, ultimately, like normally I would not do that. Like I would take all the supplements and shit.
It's hard for me to take medicines and stuff when I see anytime you watch like a medicine commercial, when it's like, oh yeah, this is going to help you with low blood pressure or high blood pressure, but you're going to have cancer, your dick might fall off, you can't have children anymore. There's 150 negatives to the fact that it's going to help you have better blood pressure.
Fast talking.
That's something I don't agree with either. Like you get like those companies that are able to put that stuff out there. I think that should be illegal. I don't think you should be able to advertise for medication. I think that it should be a thing where, you know, if you're a pharmaceutical company, you should be able to make your product. And if a doctor advises you to take it, you should be able to take it. I should not be able to put it onto Fox News where somebody's at home going, well, shit, I feel kind of stiff, when really they're talking about people who can't fucking move their backs or something.
Right.
But you're at home going, well, it sounds like it works for me. And then there's some doctor getting a cut for every single prescription that they put out there. I mean, that's bullshit.
That's that pharmaceutical industry where we've talked about before, where I think that they're corporate greed, the pharmaceutical industry as a whole. I think there's a lot more things out there to better us that isn't allotted because of the amount of money that it would take away from that industry.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. My whole point in doing this kind of documentation of everything, it's not to ease people's concerns or to, you know, encourage people to go and get it and all that. I'm going to be 100% honest whether people like that or not. Like, my thing is,
so that thing you told us about before the show where you're getting paid to do it, that's not true.
That's not true.
100 grand, I think was the number.
If I wish, shit, I would feed any narrative toward that. It's the greatest thing ever. Take it. Oh my God. It's like an orgasm in a needle. No, my thing is just, I'm going to give you my experiences. If I wake up one morning and I feel like death, I'm going to tell you. You're going to be the first ones to know about it.
I think it's cool to document stuff like that. This is something like very new as a whole, and the fact that you're taking it and being given it, I think it's cool to kind of document that and how it comes about and everything. So
Kanye West said it best. He said Magic Johnson got the cure for AIDS and all those broke motherfuckers passed away.
Jesus.
Dude, it's true though, man. Hey, I agree. I think that there's a cure for fucking cancer too. And I think that there's so much money in chemotherapy and cancer saving drugs and stuff like that, that they ain't gonna ever come out and say that we could cure cancer. They'd go bankrupt, man. It's just like fucking electric cars. Nobody wants electric cars to become a thing because the fucking gas corporation tycoons would go bankrupt. Where what they should really be doing is investing in electric cars. Corporate greed, man. That's the issue. There's so much issues with that in this country. And go on a whole tirade.
Costs money to reteach people.
Dude, it's crazy. Outside of that, we have the new relief bill is coming through. They tried to they passed it. It was supposed to be $600 to everybody. Apparently there was some sketchy stuff in there, aid to foreign countries and stuff, which I don't know why should be aiding our people. We have this fucking thing in America where we always have to give to all their countries. Like, we're in a national crisis right now. How about we focus on ourselves
to be
right
fair,
now?
Really quickly. That's like a misconception that's going around.
Okay.
There are two separate bills that are happening. One is our COVID relief bill, and one is our government spending bill.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily agree with the government spending a bunch of money on other countries, but that's just part of politics where you have to keep your allies going. But that is not part of the COVID relief bill. All that money, like the
900
for like transgender Pakistani relief or something like that, and like all this other stuff.
Gender studies.
That is nothing to do with the COVID relief bill at all.
So the COVID relief bill is what, 900 billion?
Yeah, it's in that neighborhood.
So if you allocate that out amongst the society, does that equal to $600 a person?
I'd have to do the math. I don't think so.
Let's do the math.
Because it's not necessarily for every single person. It's also based on people who don't make $75,000 a year.
Right. So that, I believe, what's the U.S. population? Let's just do it really quick.
327 million, I believe.
And does it take 5,500 words or 5,500 pages to say that?
You said 327 million?
I think.
Like 5,500 pages, these politicians had to vote on it within like 2 hours.
So
later.
900, it's 900,
ridiculous.
900 billion, right?
900.
I don't think my phone can go that high. It's $900 billion. 900 billion. So that's 900 billion divided by 327 million.
Sure.
That should be $2,752 a person.
There you go.
So where's the rest of the money going?
Don't know.
That's where I was trying to get.
It's not going to the countries, but I don't know where it's going.
And that's if every person got it. Even your multi-billionaires got it. So where is the rest of that money going?
But
I think a lot of it's going to corporations.
To be fair, I was going to say, so like they're saving businesses too in terms of that. That's what a lot of that was. Okay. It was, some of this money's going to business and all that. I'm not sticking up for them. I'm just saying.
No, I agree. That I'm just trying to find out where's it going.
Yeah.
If we're getting 600 a person, okay, so where's the rest of that? Because that's 1/4, 1/5. We're getting 1/5 of the money as a person if every person got it.
And the numbers that you just put together on there, you didn't subtract the 375,000 people that have died since this whole thing has started. Right. So that's a lot different.
I don't know. my whole they're trying to pass a bill regardless. There's skepticism going around about it per usual. I know even with the first one, there was things in there that people were like they're trying to slide these things through in this COVID bill because people are just going to be concerned.
At first, it was the Republicans doing stuff for all the military. Then it was the Democrats trying to force things through for their agendas and Planned Parenthood. And now we've come to a conclusion where we've agreed on $600 and whatever fine print there is in there. Last time there was stuff for the Smithsonian and fucking museums and shit.
A bill that strictly is an individual aid bill. This is the money that we're going to sign a bill on to give to individual people, not businesses, not corporations, not other agendas. What is the bill? It should be a 2-page thing. This is what we're allocating towards. This is how many you're going to get. If you fall within these realms, this is what you get. Get rid of all the other bullshit that's in there. Because to Chris's point, it shouldn't be a 300, 400, whatever page.
It should be a 1-sentence document that says any American making under $75,000 will get a $2,000 stimulus bill.
You can write it on a napkin.
You can write it on a napkin.
Done and done. The first one's got Trump has said, like him, don't like him, believe what he says or not. He's fighting it. He said that the 600 is a slap in the face. He wants 2,000 per individual, 4,000 per couple. He said he's not going to agree to sign anything until they change it,
which I love.
Because
he has totally fucked all of the Republicans on his side.
Yeah. And I was going to send this to you guys today too and talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Bernie had fought for $2,000 months ago. And there were multiple other people on the Democratic side who also stood with him on that bill. He called President Trump to allocate those funds and say $2,000 per American. And it didn't happen. Now we're to the point where there's rumors all over the place. I won't speculate, but Trump has gotten to the point where we now have a bipartisan agreement of $600 for people. Biden has said that is a foot in the door and that he has another one that he plans to implement once he becomes president. Who knows if that will actually happen, but he said it.
Here's my thing. We need it now. I don't care about when you become president. I agree right now.
But you've got all these Republicans who have gotten to the point where they didn't want to give that much. They got it down to 600 and the Democrats said, okay, fuck it. We're just going to do the 600. Fine.
Yeah.
And you've got people on both sides that are blaming the other because it's too low, because it is too low.
$600 is a fucking joke.
And then Trump comes in and he goes, no, it needs to be 2,000. So now the Republicans are going, the fuck, dude? Like, we've been fighting this thing the whole time. And Pelosi
and AOC,
and them, they call Trump's bluff and they go, well, they've been fighting us for this long. We can have it written up by Christmas Eve. Make sure you sign off on it. And now they've put Trump and all these other people on the spot. If he did this as like a way of like whatever, stopping up the process because he lost or whatever the speculations have been saying. Some people are saying that he's not going to vote it because he's pissed off at America for not electing him.
Well, and he's pissed off at a lot of Republican senators and for basically saying that Joe Biden's the next president.
Yes, and for not citing for him because of his legal aspects or whatever. But now he's on the spot because he said, no, we need to do this. And they said, okay, we'll get it all written up. And you got a day to get it signed. If he doesn't do it, he's fucked.
Here's the sad and scary part. He's not fucked. If he signs it, great. We all benefit. If he doesn't sign it, he's not president anymore anyways. It doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
The beauty is
that's true.
So with the bill itself, the beauty is if he doesn't choose to sign it, he has 10 days from Monday to sign it.
Yeah.
If he chooses not to, the new Congress will come in, obviously, the 9 or 10 or 11 new chairs that got voted in. The problem though is a majority of that is still the old Congress.
Yeah.
So like they have the overwhelming votes to they don't need the presidents.
Here's my thing. If I'm Trump, I'm signing it. At the very least, I'm taking one last hurrah to try and
curb my public opinion
of me coming out of office as not being this big of an asshole. The last thing he did in office was gave us all $2,000 and try and benefit himself because you would think most people that don't like Trump are going to say he's going to do whatever to help himself or benefit himself.
If he calls Republicans on their bluff, I'm all for it. Like I will applaud him and say that's a great job. And you know, that's one of the few things that he did correct for sure.
I will take the $4,000 and I don't give a fuck what he does.
I wish he would have fucking really stuck it to him and said, they all deserve $10,000, $10,000.
Hey, who knows? He still has 27 days. So.
Let's tweet at him. He'll see it.
All right.
Hey man, what about 10? What about 20? A year's wages.
Biden said he's going to give 2. You're going to let him undermine you like that?
That's right. Are you a bitch, Trump? Are you a fucking bitch? You're going to let Biden undermine you? You said he can't even remember who he is.
This episode's going to get taken off like fuckers. So yeah, anyhow, got a new bill coming out. Maybe we're all going to get some Happy New Year money.
Remember to call your senators and ask for $5,000. That's the only way things get done. Blow up their voicemails.
Last thing on Let's Get Social quickly. While we're talking about COVID and repercussions and things like that, is this 18-year-old girl who went to the Cayman Islands. She went to visit her boyfriend who was playing in a soccer wrestling tournament in Cayman Islands. And so per their quarantine, their COVID rules and regulations is if you travel there, you have to quarantine for 14 days, which has got to be killing their tourist attractions, because who can afford to come there for 2 weeks just to quarantine and then do your vacation? That's got to be awful for them. Anyways, you're supposed to go there if you go there, you quarantine for 14 days before you can leave. They've got like tracking devices and shit they put on you. America needs to step their game up. They're actually holding the people accountable here.
Dare them and they will.
They have all the Americans' money there, though.
This girl goes there, stays in her hotel for 2 days, and then she ditches her tracking device, leaves to go to whatever sporting event, and is arrested.
She got got.
She got. She got called out. They arrested her, sentenced her to 4 months in prison. They've fought it, and at this point, they've given her 2 months. They're saying her and her boyfriend both are getting 2 months, which I find interesting. Is that he went for a sporting event. You would think that would have been organized, like he had to have done something like that would have been. I don't know. That's
maybe
weird.
Helped her sneak out.
Why have it in the Cayman Islands?
How important is the sporting event?
Yeah.
How big is it? You know.
But I guess my question is, do you think she should be okay? She's 18, no record, first time offender. Do you think 2 months, or at whatever point it was, 4 months jail time in a foreign prison is fair, over excessive? Do you think she needs to be held accountable for what she did? What do you guys, what's your opinion on that? Do you think, because like we could say here, we don't do shit. They stay at home order or whatever, and nothing's enforced in America. People are all willy-nilly doing whatever they want here, and look at the state of our country. Now, this is a country that's highly tourist. They've got a lot of people coming in. They're saying, we're going to take it seriously. They've come out and said already, if we let her off, other people might come here and do the same thing. And then they know that we're going to get that we're going to be okay. What is your thought on it? You think that that's a fair thing for her?
This is not going to come across good.
So
my stance is that, look, if it was an established rule, whether she knew it or not, it's an established law like that. That's, that's the way they put it out there.
Here's my thing. Let's just play devil's advocate.
Sure.
Chick had a tracking device. She knows what the rule is.
Yeah.
I mean, she can't, I'm just saying, I don't think she can play the I didn't know card.
100%.
You got a fucking tracking device put on you. You know what you're supposed to be doing.
My point is, it doesn't matter though.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a law. Like, so you're coming into their house.
I got you.
Now you're playing by their rules.
Yep.
That's the vulnerability that you have with being a tourist.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, as much as it sucks, it's truly a shitty situation.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I agree to the point of, like, here's my thing. And I guess I probably put part of this blame on her.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of blame on her parents. One, I think she went alone. Granted, she's 18. She can do what she wants. But I know me growing up, and we went to foreign countries a lot with my family on vacations. We went to Mexico lots of times. We went on cruises. I've been to the Cayman Islands. And I know that I ain't going, when I go to a foreign country, I am on my absolute best behavior. I ain't breaking any laws. I ain't doing anything stupid. I ain't getting caught in Mexico and getting put in jail there, where they know you're American and you got money, and they're going to hold your ransom and do what they can to get you, because they know your family or government will do it to get you out of that country. This girl went to a foreign country, knowingly broke a law in a time where COVID is a pretty serious thing, and is kind of a slap in the face to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's scary and it sucks, but do we just let her go and say, she didn't really know, it was a mistake, let her go home?
Precedent. You can't do that.
What do? You can't. Jesse?
Yeah, no. I worked with somebody who lived in China for 2 years. She's a science teacher. She's been to multiple countries. She travels the world pretty frequently. And I think that she put it best. She put out a status about this just a couple of days ago. She said that when she went to Cambodia, there were a bunch of people who got publicly intoxicated. They were being what the country considered overly sexual in a bar, and they were arrested for it. And she saw it happen. She went to Thailand. two men who had an Instagram account called like Follow Your Buns or something.
I saw that.
They were mooning. They would go to like famous places and moon the monuments.
Yeah, I saw that.
They were in a holy temple and did it. They were arrested for it. You can't go around and do shit like that in other countries.
It's ignorant.
She said she remembered when she was a kid, somebody who was getting caned because they shoplifted or they were littering in another country, and they reached out to the US because they didn't want to be caned for their crimes.
Right.
But ultimately she said, if you're in another country, you have to follow their rules.
Yep.
Just because we are Americans, we feel like we are entitled because we're always told from the time when we're young, we're the greatest country in the world, and that you see movies where they're like, I'm an American, and they can do whatever they want. If you go to another country, they have laws. And if you know the law and you break it, you absolutely should get taken out. If it's a cultural difference and you're not aware, you show your shoulders and you're not supposed to, and you whatever,
right.
I could see reaching out and trying getting, helped for something like that. But if you are given a tracker and told, hey, you've got 14 days, don't leave, and you do it anyways, you can't get away with that shit.
Yeah, that's ultimately just the breaking of the law right there. Like, you've broken the law. It's not about ignorance anymore. It's not about what you don't know. It's you broke the law.
She admitted guilty.
Yeah.
She admittedly said, I knowingly did it. I apologize. I shouldn't have did it. I went to support him. I couldn't wait 14 days, or I couldn't be at the event, whatever. She knows she did wrong. She admitted it. I don't think that means she shouldn't get the sentence. I just think at that point proves a point. She knows what she did was wrong. Yeah. She still chose to do it, to go to a fucking wrestling match when you knowingly could have put however many people are there in harm's way. Mm-hmm. COVID is obviously a very serious thing. To Jesse's point, we feel entitled here. We think we can do whatever we want. They reached out to fucking President Trump for help. Give me a fucking break, man.
If in America you steal something, you might get probation. You probably won't even get that if it's your first time. If you rape somebody, you're going to go to jail for 10 years. Yep. You do that shit in another country, they will cut off your hand or they will cut off your dick. Yep. We look at stuff like that and we go, oh my God, that's so barbaric.
Right.
But
look how often it happens here. The extent of our crimes that we prosecute and how we prosecute them is weak.
And there's things like that where you see, if a story comes out where somebody raped a young kid, there's always people in the comments who are going, castrate that motherfucker, put him to death, this or that. And that's fine. But then when you get into something else where we don't see it as extreme, we want to be entitled and allowed to do whatever we want. If it was a high-end person who did it, they would try to make up excuses. Well, we shouldn't do anything for that person. But when another country puts that person to death, we're going to be wanting to go to war because it's a celebrity that we love. Because this is a cute, young 18-year-old girl who looks like the American dream cliche. Everybody wants her to just be able to walk. But if she was just your typical chick, wasn't very attractive, she's not blonde and tan and whatever, nobody would give a fuck about her.
This is where I have the issue with it. And I've talked about it on the show before. We talked about a show last year. And it was about a documentary I watched. And I said, our judicial system is flawed in the fact that we don't prosecute cases the same way. If this chick went there and she had a background in crime, she had been arrested here before and it did stuff, we wouldn't be batting an eye. There'd be no news article. Nope. But to your point, she's this blonde, good-looking girl. She's young. She has a clean record. We look at it differently. Look, you did the crime, do the time.
Yep.
Another thing. So I watched that show. I messaged you guys about that 60 Days In. Now I researched it. It is true. It's not staged other than, like we said, the editing. Point being, I watched several seasons of it. These people are in fucking jail. And you know what the extent of their jail is? It's basically like a school. I would equate it to the size of a high school gym size wise, or a high school cafeteria with a bunch of tables and then cells that are rooms probably the extent of my entire basement that have bunk beds. They all sleep together. They can go around. They have obviously lockdown where they have to go to bed at whatever time it is, 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they've got TVs, they've got cards, they've got chess sets, they've got checkers. They can come and go out of their cells as they want. They get 3 meals a day. They get to hang out. They've got telephones on the wall to make phone calls at their leisure as often as people put money on their cards to do. These are criminals. These are people that have murdered people. Some of them are in there for theft, but they are operating. That is a good fucking life.
Yeah.
I mean, you're telling me they're in
Much
jail?
better than it could have been.
And that's how we prosecute, and we pay for that.
Where's this at?
They do it at all different. They do it at all different jails. Each season's at a different jail. The purpose of the show's called 60 Days In. If you guys have never seen it, and the purpose of it is it's I think it actually started with one jail. I can't remember where it's located, but this one jail is what actually started this whole program, and it turned into a reality TV show. There's a jail that was having a lot of issues with crime and drugs and things like that, and they said, "Hey, we want to start this program. We can't send a cop in undercover, and we can't send a criminal in undercover because obviously we're going to get their side of the story. We're not going to get a biased opinion on what's going on. We want to bring in a Joe Schmo, everyday citizen who hasn't done time to come into our jail as an inmate and be there for 60 days and report back to us about the things that are going on, because their opinion at that point will be biased. They have nothing against the criminals. They have nothing against the law enforcement. They're going to tell a true story." So they would send them in. They would come out and they would say, "Hey, you've got a drug problem. This is how it's happening. This is the information I found out." They would try and infiltrate, become friends with the inmates, and give information to the warden or whatever so that they could implement ways to fix the problems they have. Now it's 7 seasons in. They've restructured the show a little bit. Now they actually have missions. So like on the most recent season I watched, there was 6 people, 3 men, 3 women. 3 women went obviously into the women's side and the guys on the guy side, and they were given a different thing to figure out. One was, I want you to infiltrate the drug issue, find out how the drugs are coming in, what kind of drugs, report back to us on how it is so we can fix it. One was go in and investigate the way that jail operations are happening. So if there's a fight, how quickly are the guards reacting to it? If there's a threat against somebody, are we doing the right thing? Are we involved? And then the one was gangs. This jail specifically had a lot of issues with gang involvement, where races were creating. They weren't what's that called?
Integrating.
They weren't integrated. The jail itself had an issue where when you came in, if you were Hispanic descent, you were automatically going to hang out with them. You sat with them at lunch. You couldn't sit at a different table. If you were black, same thing. And there was a big issue there. They had race wars and stuff. So anyways, long story short, I watched this show and I'm looking at this. These are people that are murderers and rapists, and this is their jail time.
Yep.
This is how they get to live their everyday life.
Much better than this, even too. There's Club Meds,
right? Man.
Yep.
I'm like, if I was ever a criminal, if I was ever homeless, like if God forbid something happened, I lost my job, lost my house,
Just go to jail.
I'm gonna go to jail.
I have multiple students who prefer jail to their home life and will tell me that their food is better, that they can at least go and play they can't play the game, but they can play basketball.
Yes.
Like they straight up tell me, because I'll be like, "You're gonna get arrested." I don't give a fuck.
These people had
We're getting 3 meals in there.
They had a rec area there where they had, like you said, they had a basketball court, they had weights and gym stuff, and this was a jail. They had open activity. It was breakfast at this time, lunch at this time, dinner at this time. Outside of that,
my kids tell me that the jail food is better than the school food, which is probably true because our food is disgusting.
I believe it.
That's just sad. Look, I'm not for inhumane behavior. I don't know if I agree with that penalty or not, but I do know that we have a crime issue in this country, and it's because we don't prosecute hard enough. We're lackadaisical about the way that things happen. Look how many times people are repeat offenders.
Yep.
Because they, like you said, they know I've already done jail. Shit, I'd rather be in there anyways. I'm gonna go out and do this because I'll be put back in, and I'll be all hoity-toity. Now, granted, there are the people that are in like isolation and shit, and that's a whole other story. Is that humane? I don't know. One of the manhunt ones or whatever I just watched, his criminal extent was so extreme that his entire sentence was in isolation, which means that he was in a room with no windows,
23 hours a day,
23 and a half hours a day.
Yeah. And that's mentally, they've already proven how the kind of psychological weight that has on you. That's why they're trying to get rid of that. God, I'm trying to think what the name of that is.
It's isolation.
Yeah, it's isolation, but there's another word for it. Never mind. But yeah, they're legally trying to get that changed to where it is barbaric, another form of torture.
And that's the thing. Where do we find that happy medium where we prosecute appropriately in this country that people don't think that they're just going to get off, but also do it within a humane way to a certain extent? There's certain crimes, man, I don't give a fuck what, I don't care humane or not. Like, fuck you.
Yeah,
you raping kids.
You raped a kid. Yeah,
like, fuck you.
You should get it. Yeah,
you can go stay in that room for the rest of your life. It's honestly the ones that they have are too big for you.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be able to sit down.
Yep.
But this girl, I think that they need to hold her accountable. And that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it sucks.
That's
She's
the side I'm
young
on.
and it's going to be something that's going to psychologically damage her for the rest of her life, probably.
But sweetheart, nobody made you come to the Cayman Islands.
Yeah. No one made you do that. You're privileged. I mean, you were privileged enough to go to the Cayman Islands on a vacation to see your boyfriend wrestle.
Yeah.
These people will never go there in their life because they can't afford to do it. Like you were in a very
She's
privileged
as
situation.
fuck. Enjoy some jail time, bitch. And shouldn't have broke the law.
There it is.
Jesse Young for the exclusive.
Jesse
I don't
settles
give
it
a
up.
shit.
No, I agree. I think she needs to be held accountable.
The tougher predicament for me is like, so if I'm the boyfriend and they say like, well, we've got a wrestling tournament for you and it's going to be in the Cayman Islands. Like, I want to wrestle really bad, but I'm not fucking willing to sit in jail and
that's my point too, is like, there's no way that you're telling me that they planned for this dude going there for 2 weeks to isolate. They knew damn well he's going to go there and fucking go to his wrestling tournament. They thought he was going to get off and it wasn't going to be a big deal.
Yep.
They took advantage because we feel privileged and that we can do what we want. Because in this country, that's how it works.
Right.
You know, it's sad.
You get what you get.
You get what you get. So we'll see what happens.
Or as Jesse said.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Fuck
brute.
you.
So they reduced her from 4 months to 2. They said if with good behavior, she could serve 2/3 of her sentence. She's already been captive for a week. So that goes towards the 2 months.
Captive.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see what happens. It keeps changing, you know. But that's where it looks like it's at for right now.
It sucks to suck.
Don't do stupid shit. You know, just don't be an idiot.
You wouldn't catch my Irish ass there.
Bro, I ain't going to a foreign country and doing something illegal because I ain't trying to end up in a jail.
She's in the Cayman
foreign
Islands.
jail.
You know that she was not just sitting in like a hotel room the size of this. Like she's gonna be.
No.
Her room probably had a hot tub.
That bitch was on
and
a
pool.
beachside
It was
suite,
fine.
living it up. You could have sat on your
House
patio.
fucking service or whatever, room service coming to the room. Like, live it up.
Do your time, girl. Do your time and learn from it.
But
and-
daddy, I can't watch him wrestle.
Yeah, daddy's Trump because that's who they try to get to help her.
Yep.
All right, guys. Let's get into Hollywood Report. Nothing else for Let's Get Social, right?
I don't think so.
All right.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down! News team, assemble!
Christopher Kessinger.
Hello.
How's it going? What's going on? What's new in the world of music, movies, and music movies?
Oh, hold on a second, sir. We're not just going to let the government off that easy. No, we've got to talk about them again.
Oh, these fucks.
So,
what do we got going on?
with this new omnibus bill that is being passed for the COVID-19 stimulus, we were talking about how Jesse mentioned how, you know, these things are split into two different bills. This is one, I was doing my research while we were talking during the last segment. This is one that is actually on the COVID-19 bill, and that is to make illegal streaming punishable if it
by death.
If it
now, this is on the bill that's supposed to be the 600 going to people, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck the government.
Yes. So if I'm trying to think of the word, if there's monetary gain from illegal streaming, it is now able to be prosecuted.
Now, please tell me
legally.
what it has to do with us, a COVID relief bill.
It has nothing to do with
Exactly.
us whatsoever. That was my whole point in posting this yesterday, was the fact that they give a fuck about us streaming This Is Us, but they couldn't care about the 375,000 people that have died.
What's the extent of it? If there's financial gain from it?
If there's so if you're selling copies
Okay.
of
like selling your login and password or
yeah,
something, maybe
tenant
somebody
or something like that, yeah, then you can go to jail for it.
It's a federal offense, like you're
Yeah.
a felon.
Yeah. So here's my thing. While I don't
for
agree,
a $6 a month membership to Disney Plus. Now, I'm
Does
gonna-
that include like if you buy Disney, he buys Netflix, I buy Hulu, and we all share?
no,
Okay.
no. This is what I'm saying is you're selling it illegally, like for your own gain.
Well, I mean, sharing it is technically illegal. You're not supposed to be allowed to share.
You're not supposed to, but you're not going to go to jail for that. If anything,
So
they're
what
probably
would
just going to ban you from the.
To what extent would that be then? Like, what's an example?
So like you used to get bootleg DVDs or something. It's not as
Yeah.
common probably anymore because people can find everything on
Yeah.
here now.
So, like, if I screen recorded a movie or something and sold you a copy of
Is
it.
when you sell it, that's when you're breaking the law.
I got you.
Now, here's
Okay.
the thing that's tricky about that is if they really wanted to stop it, they would ban everything.
Yeah.
So they would ban the second that you watch an illegal movie or something
Yeah.
like that. You know, it's selling it. Nobody really buys illegal movies anymore. Like it's more you're going to watch it on here and then you're going to be done with it.
Yeah, there's like crack streams. I'm implicating myself right now. Maybe I'm gonna go to jail. But
hypothetically,
crack streams I watch the Steelers games on when they can't play. They won't. AT&T TV, which is they have their own cable network, it won't broadcast the games because they're in a disagreement with NBC or whoever who has them.
Yeah.
They fixed that finally.
No, it wasn't as of last week. I had to watch it via crack streams. Or no, last week you're right. I did watch it.
Yeah, last week they fixed it.
But before that, I was watching it through crack streams, and they would somehow figure a way to play the game. And
let's just put it out there, all right? Hypothetically,
yeah. Allegedly, I watched.
Allegedly, I probably have thousands of songs that I didn't ever purchase, and I probably stream things either using somebody else's password or a streaming service like that. Has anybody ever actually purchased a UFC
do not
fight?
reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
I personally have not. I either go to someone's house, watch it at a restaurant or bar, or if I just cycle through the Facebook Live where someone is streaming it.
Shit.
If it's not a huge fight, I'm finding that shit on Twitter. Arrest me.
I ain't buying. I don't buy fights. I never going to. Like, I'm not going to spend the $50 on watching a fight. Someone else has already bought it, and I'm going to watch it there.
Connor next month.
That might be one fight. You know where I'm going to be?
You'll be at the bar.
I'll be at Jersey's and I'll watch it there because they'll have it and I won't have to spend any money.
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. So for me, it's a bill that I do support. Like I think, it costs money, takes money away from the producers and the directors and all that. Does it need to be on a COVID bill? Absolutely not.
Oh, that should be a bill of its own.
Stealing daytime TV anyway.
That's what I'm wondering. So like apparently this is still a big problem because for me, like I've never purchased an illegal DVD in my life. I'll say I may possibly unaware have watched illegal movies before.
Yeah. This has got to be coming from, I think the only way I can find them implementing this into the COVID bill is because the state of the nation currently with businesses being implicated by COVID, like movie theaters going under because no one's going to see them.
Yeah.
So they're probably looking at it as, okay, all these people are stuck at home. They're streaming movies now because that's their only option. And someone's going on and paying the $30 for Mulan and videoing it, and now they're selling and they're selling their copy to X, Y, and Z, and they're splitting the money that way. So they're lumping it together with COVID in that aspect.
Yeah.
To that point, it should be on that separate bill that's structuring stuff around other issues and nothing to do with the money that's being generated as a COVID relief fund for the U.S. citizens. Should be a bill of its own, and that's it.
That's simple.
Does that mean I disagree? No. I just think it's placed in the wrong spot, inappropriately.
Deal with everything else some other time.
Yeah, that bill should be something separate that is handled with other COVID relief acts that they're implementing for other things. But them sneaking that along in this is just them trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
Thinking people aren't going to see it.
In other news, on the set of Mission Impossible 7 last week, Tom Cruise raised a big COVID.
Anybody got a clip of it?
Yeah, I was going to say if you could bring it up, but Tom Cruise raised a big rant to co-stars, especially Haley Atwell, who wasn't 6 feet apart and wasn't wearing a mask fully over her nose. You guys agree or disagree with Tom Cruise's
I have not
stance?
watched it yet, so this is going to be a blind reaction.
Okay,
we'll see how it goes because I haven't heard it either.
I read the article and I saw that, but I have not actually watched the video. So let's see. I mean, it's a little like 5'5" guy.
The Sun, which leaked the explosive. The UK tabloid The Sun, which leaked the explosive audio, reports Tom will jet off from the Warner Brothers studio in London this weekend to spend Christmas in Miami with his son Connor. The move puts an end to production on Mission Impossible 7 for the year earlier than expected. It's the end of a really tough year, and a bit of time out seems like a good idea for everyone as tensions have been mounting for a while.
Is there more?
No, that's the summary of it. He walks away and he yells a little bit more, but you can't really hear what he says.
He was upset because people weren't following protocol.
Yeah, so like Haley Atwell, the girl who plays Steve Rogers' significant other, she's an actress in this movie, and like she was wearing her mask down, I guess, below her nose, and she was also, she was within that 6 foot realm.
I don't disagree with him being upset.
But here's the thing.
I mean,
is it in the context of the scene,
What do you mean?
I mean, so obviously, like they're going to be close in the scene. You're not going to shoot everybody that's 6 feet apart in a movie.
That's one of those catch-22 things where I think right now with just like sports, coaches are required to wear masks, with the players that are rolling around on the ground with each other don't have to wear masks.
We talked about that. Yeah.
I don't undermine him being upset.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the situation. I think it's as simple as, you know, when you're supposed to wear a mask and you know when you're not, or when you don't have to. Okay. If you're in scene with each other, obviously you don't have to do it. I don't know what protocols they're following, if the actors and actresses are being COVID tested because they're so close quarters. But if this chick was offset and during that time she's supposed to be wearing a mask and she's not, and to his point, the extent that industry has been impacted because of COVID, I don't think it's wrong for him to be upset.
I don't. Go ahead.
I just think, like, in perspective of a normal person, I went to breakfast with my dad twice this week. We went to Molly Brown's. Based on of their rules and state rules, we had to wear our masks from the time that we walked through the door, waiting for the table in the little 5-foot area. Once we got to the table, we can take the masks off. I think it's
stupid.
I think it's stupid. It doesn't really prevent anything.
No.
But if I knew that not wearing that mask from the time that I was in that 5-foot circle walking to my table, I would lose my salary possibly, I would be freaking out on my dad if he had his mask down below his nose. I think it's the same type of thing. This is his job. It's what he's doing. It's a huge movie that he doesn't want delayed for years down the line because that's his paycheck. It's his livelihood, and it's what he believes in and works for, to have a great movie put on the screen. I don't have a problem with it either.
I think to that exact point, you run into a situation. One, I agree with you. I think the restaurant bar thing is stupid. We're all trying to navigate through this and do what we think is the appropriate thing. And they think that, okay, that walking through, you're not exposing yourself to the person sitting at the table that you're not around normally. You're not exposing them because your mask is on. Okay. It seems silly, but we all do it. We wear it the time that we're required because we know that's what's asked of us. And when we sit down, we take it off because we're allowed. We don't know. Tom Cruise doesn't know, or Haley, whatever her name was,
Haley Atwell,
doesn't know who's watching from production or whatever that's saying, you guys aren't following protocol. Your set shut down.
Yep.
You guys can't finish watching this movie. I'm held accountable at work. I'm watched when I have certain places and spots within my workplace that I have to wear a mask, and somewhere it's within our judgment based on if there's other people around and stuff, and I'm held accountable for that. I'm watching. If I don't do it in the right place, I know that I'm going to get in trouble. And to Jesse's point, it could be my job, it could be a write-up, it could be HR case, whatever. So Tom's a little eccentric and he's a little off the cuff, but I don't think that him being upset was was wrong.
Well, and to go with that, like, people think that these movies take a really long time to make, but most of it's done in post-production.
Yeah.
The actual filming of these films is done in a couple of months, depending on the film. Sometimes it's done in a month.
It's usually within 30 days. That's kind of like a typical production anymore, unless it's like a war epic or something like that.
Right. So now if you do get hit with one of these, things where somebody has to quarantine, depending on what happens, if somebody actually gets sick or whatnot, you could completely delay this thing. 1 month could result in months of delays going into your post-production and things like that, where you weren't able to get the shot that you needed for this particular day. Maybe you're booked on set, on location in a certain place where now you have to reschedule that. A place like Mission Impossible, where he's doing his own stunts, they go on location. They're going to places like in the past, they've gone to Dubai, they've gone to these mountains, they've shot on these places. It's not like they can just like hold up and stay somewhere. Like, those places are booked.
Yep.
So you could completely fuck a movie just with one simple mistake. I got no problem with them freaking out.
If this is a movie where they're planning on, I don't even know what the big blockbuster release times are, but let's say they want it to be a summer hit.
This is 4th of July.
Say they want it to be a 4th of July release. And now, to Jesse's point, we all got shut down for a month, and now we can't release it because we got to fight with the other movies that are already planned to come out. And now we're looking at 2022 because we can't get it out next year. I don't know. What's your thoughts? You're the movie guy.
Oh, no, I agree. You guys took the words out of my mouth. I understand like where he's coming from as far as his argument goes, because he's just a guy that cares about the nation and, he wants to get back to normal like we all do.
Yeah.
Is he a little eccentric? Absolutely. I don't think it requires yelling in the faces of your actors, but I guess he felt that was the only way that he could get his point across. So, whatever.
He's fucking Jerry Maguire, man. He's passionate about his craft.
Yeah.
Put on your mask. Don't be a dumb
fuck.
Dumb fuck.
Yep.
And make your movie so we can all watch and try and support the movie theaters.
Yeah. Speaking of shelving movies, James Bond, who is owned by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, otherwise known as MGM. MGM has found themselves exploring a sale for their entire library. This includes James Bond and other notable properties. And Metro-Goldwyn has been a big player for many decades, guys.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Is this another thing that Disney gets their hands on and possibly moves toward another step?
What other major companies even left to purchase it? I mean, Fox doesn't exist anymore. Who would even step in to do
Mark
it?
Zuckerberg.
Like legitimately though, like I don't know of any other major
Amazon
company. Like Paramount's not going to be somebody that can come in and take something like that.
Could something like an Amazon or a Netflix, because Netflix has their own Netflix originals. Could they take over that catalog and then?
That's what I was thinking.
That would be so dope.
That's what I was thinking. So like, especially in the case of James Bond, like you have a release that's coming up within the next 4 months, and like you could really market that on Netflix. You could, make that your big baby for the next year. I would be all for it, just like Jesse. It's just interesting because Metro-Goldwyn has always been one of those bigger than life companies for film that, you kind of depend on. And I don't know if it doesn't say what its motivation was, whether they're losing money or whether it's just because of COVID, everything going on. It's not worth the headache.
I think you're going to see a lot of people get ahead of it now and get out knowing what the future of cinema looks like and going to streaming only or going direct to streaming and lost to theaters. And they're thinking, hey, you know what? We have a great product now and it's worth this now. Let's get ahead of it before we start to deflate or things start to change. And if we can get so much money for it and walk away, let's do it.
Yeah. It's only going to be worth its highest right now.
Exactly. There's things in similar concept. What's his name? Lil Wayne. Did you see the article about Lil Wayne? He sold
fuck the sheet. I'll wake up and beat my meat.
He sold his entire catalog for like $100 million. But apparently involved in that was also like Nicki Minaj and like Drake had stuff involved in that as well because of stuff that he had produced.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about when you sell the rights to all of that, because MGM sells those movies.
They're gone.
I mean, that's it, man. That's like, it's like getting rid of your collection of your favorite things and no longer have any ownership or right to it. That's a big deal. And like you said, MGM's a big name thing.
Side note, still pertaining to James Bond, because I don't think we put it in our notes, but I wanted to ask you guys, did you see the report that the new 007 was going to be a black woman?
Yes. Yeah. And everyone was shitting the bed about it.
What do you think about that?
Here's my thing. I think that they're capitalizing on what James Bond is to serve a different purpose. Why can't she or whoever be their own thing within the realm? Like, it's going to be the new James Bond, but James Bond is James Bond. I don't know. I don't have any issue with it becoming a female to take on like the role. Like 007 was going to become a female, but that's like his entity, right? That's his call sign or his name.
But here's the thing, as established already in the film series, 007 can be anything or anyone pretty much.
Okay.
So like in terms of, it's not just that, we don't really know his name. James Bond is code name, but we don't really, he's not the only person with that code name.
Okay. So I always assimilated 007 as James Bond. Like that's his call sign.
Right.
Like, so if that, I don't know then at that point, what is 007?
007 is anyone. Like
if he were to die, somebody would step in and become a 007. It's just his number as an agent.
Yeah.
He's just the 7th agent of MI6.
Well, that's
my understanding.
That's to that point though. Then 007 is James Bond. She could be 008 or 009.
Unless he's dead and then you need a 007 because there's only 7 of them left.
I guess so. It's just weird. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where we like are trying to, I think I look at it one of those things where like we try and rewrite a story and place somebody else in the same role of a movie or something that's already been done.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and this is kind of out of context, but like a Point Break. They remade Point Break and it was nothing even like Point Break, but they sold it to capitalize on it. Okay, so like give her own role in the 007 or James Bond realm in like a side story or something and give her that same front of the line, head agent, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like at that point you're just stepping into, you're taking on somebody else's, like you're looking, I don't
So
know.
this doesn't bother me
know.
just because like James Bond and 007, it's all a fictional character regardless
absolutely.
anyway. So like my thing is I only raise big deals whenever it's like historical figures that are poorly cast.
Yeah.
So, you know, to me, it's obvious what their intentions are.
Yeah.
It's the, you know, progressive state of mind in terms of, you know, we're going to accommodate as many, you know, different variety of moviegoers as we can.
Yeah.
In this case, women and black moviegoers. So obviously, you know, they know what they're doing, but to me, I don't care. It's as long as the movie quality is still great. Cool.
I mean, to that extent, I don't care.
Mhm.
Like, I'll go see it.
Mhm.
I mean, if they make a good movie and a good story, I'm still going to see it. I don't care. I don't care in the sense of like her taking on the role by any means. Like,
Mhm.
I have no issue with an African-American lead or a female lead.
Mhm.
I just think give her her own story,
Her
like,
own
give
moniker.
her own thing, and not have to try and come on the coattails of somebody else's story to get people to go see it. I don't know.
My whole thing, like, depending on how they handle it, will depend on how much I care.
Yeah.
If she's really just 007 and they say, you know, James Bond died in action and you're the new you're the new 007, but she's her own person.
Yeah.
I got no problems.
I'm cool with that.
If she comes in and she's Jamie Bond,
no,
then I have a problem.
Yeah, that's the whole Sam Darko thing. Like in terms of Donnie Darko, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we made a movie called S Darko, and it's like, yeah, but it's just Donnie Darko, and that's lays in the shadow of the big Donnie.
I've always been a believer that if you are an established character, you shouldn't be toyed with. Like they talked about Idris Elba being James Bond, and he's a great actor. I think those movies would have been great.
Yes.
I didn't agree with it still because James Bond, he's not a black guy. And it's one thing if it's not a decades long character, but he's a white, blonde, British, blue-eyed dude. You know what I mean? Or whatever, you know, to a point. Same thing with like a Harry Potter. Harry Potter is an established universe. If they redid it at some point in the movies, you know, people talked about making Hermione black, and I don't know if it was like an on-stage thing or whatever,
Well,
but people were pissed.
They were talking about doing that with Ariel. They were going to make Ariel black.
Another thing. So like even, and like with that, it's like, it's not a series that's been ongoing for forever. So I could let that one go on a pass.
It's a one-off.
But then in the same breath, that's also
It's an established
I think it's a
character.
Nordic character, I believe, maybe German, but it's, you know, white roots, whatever. But like some things like Hamilton, it's great. It's filled with people of different ethnicities and color, and I have no problem with that. But like, it just comes down to if you have a long-term character who is established in a certain point, I don't want you to change it. Like Miles Morales is incredible, but he's Miles Morales.
Yep.
They didn't say, well,
He's
let's
not
just
Peter
make
Parker.
Peter Parker black. It'll be great for the story.
Yeah.
I would have had a problem with
That's
that.
the exact point I was making. Like, let them establish their own role within the same series and give them the front line and the headline.
Right.
I'm totally okay with that.
In the same breath, I don't want a white guy playing Static Shock one day or something along those lines where you have a character that is African-American in their, you know, creation and their long-term whatever through their comics, their shows, their whatever. If it's gone on for years and years and years, I don't want you just changing it to be politically correct.
I know it's fictional is true or non-fictional is true. That always throws me off.
Fictional is fake.
fictional's fake,
Non-fiction is
Okay,
true.
so I know it's made up. They're stories. It's not a real person.
Sure.
But
Fictional characters.
yeah, but that always threw me off because it seems backwards the way that they labeled it. But and this is gonna go way in left field. But I compare it to like a whiteface thing or blackface. You wouldn't take if it was a black character that you then change white. I think it'd be made into a big deal.
Yep.
I think it's an established role. I don't think it has anything to do with being racist or whatever. I have no issue with her being a black lead, a female lead. It's an established role that has been known for this person in this way for as long as the story was told.
Mm-hmm.
Why change it? Why can't they be in their own universe? Miles Morales, I fucking love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think his role and his character is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite Spider-Man movies there is.
Yeah.
And it's
Might
it's
be
an
the
African-American lead.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But to Jesse's point, if she comes on and she's her own person and she's whatever her name is, nothing Bond related, and she's just the new 007, cool.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that.
To be fair, I don't think they've cemented in terms of like what her role is going to be. I think they just said she's like the next protagonist of this story. Like she's the main character.
But is the movie going to be called James Bond?
No,
Probably.
well,
Or
obviously not. It's going to have
007.
one of those like Skyfall or fucking,
Okay, so yeah, as long as they don't affiliate it with the James Bond, who that character is, and try and change it and rewrite. Hey, we're going to start a new James Bond storyline from fresh start, and now James Bond is an African American woman.
No,
then whatever.
My point is just that 007 is it's a file
It's a
name
moniker,
basically.
whatever.
It is not a real person.
Yeah.
Right. That is true.
I gotcha.
Yeah. We got two more things real quick. I'm gonna speed through this next one. Do you guys have any underrated Christmas movies that you recommend? Some that are different from the typical ones that everybody talks about?
California Christmas.
California Christmas.
Check that one out. It's phenomenal.
You were just fucking.
It might be your favorite Christmas movie of all time. It's on Netflix right now. Jesse?
I do not actually. Every single year we watch like the classics. So we watched Home Alone this year. We've watched Die Hard.
I gotta watch Home Alone tomorrow.
We've watched a couple other crappy Dolly Parton things, but no, I don't have anything actually.
You do. Elf.
Elf is terrible. I don't watch it, and I advise you not to watch it.
Here's the thing: we always talk about our favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite of the main ones? Not like
I
off-scene or indie, but
Elf.
like an Elf or a Santa Claus or anything. What's your least favorite? Jesse's Elf. Chris?
I hate Elf.
A Christmas Story.
Oh,
2.
okay. There's a second one.
Yes.
There's a second.
Is it the same people?
Okay, so
No. Well, it's the same characters.
you
but-
can keep that one, but another one that people know of. I never knew Christmas Story 2 was a thing. So what's another one that's your least
Considered a classic that you don't like.
favorite? Yeah.
I'll give you my second one because I've always hated on Elf. I don't even remember what the actual title is, but whatever the old stop motion animation one is with the heat miser and Santa when he's like skinny and he's a red-haired dude and then he gets like fat and becomes Santa by the end of it. I hate that one.
Fuck, I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
The rosy cheeks and stuff.
While Chris is thinking of his, mine is Christmas with the Cranks. I hate.
I really don't like Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah,
I wasn't crazy about 4 Christmases either.
Yeah, it's not a great one either. Christmas with the Cranks just bothers me, and I know so many people that love that movie.
I gotta stick with a Christmas
awful.
Story too, dude. It's so awful.
I don't even like Christmas Story 1.
Really?
Not a big fan of Bad Santa either.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's not.
I don't like Bad Santa either.
You don't like Bad Santa?
No.
Wow. I hate Bad Santa too, but
See, I don't know any of these twos, but I don't like Bad Santa.
Chris is diving into the $1 bins at Blockbuster.
Right.
dude, Christmas
I don't
Story
like
2
this
is one of the
movie.
worst movies I've ever seen.
You guys
Well,
like-
you got it for 50 cents, Chris. So no
You
wonder
like
you don't
Jingle
like
All
it.
the
paid
Way?
50 cents too much. No, so
Jingle All the Way.
So that was the one that
I like that.
that was the card I was gonna play. But here's the thing: Jingle All the Way knows what it is. It knows it is a very ridiculous film. It markets consumerism. It doesn't market good feeling ideals or Christmas, sentimentality.
It's not your normal feel good Christmas story.
No.
it is what it is to that point, and I love
It's
it.
awful.
It's so good.
I recently watched
Turtle
it, and I did
Man!
not realize that Anakin was the son. I was like, "Fuck, I can't even remember
Jake
that."
Lloyd, the fucking psychopath.
Awful. He's fucking terrible.
Dude, I love it.
I was gonna give just my 5 underrated Christmas movies
Do it.
real quick for the audience at home. The Night Before, Seth Rogen movie with
Aw.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Really good film about friendship.
Never saw that.
Oh, it's so good. You can borrow it sometime. The Ref, starring Dennis Leary.
Yes.
Kevin Spacey plays the father, which is a little awkward now, but great movie, terrific comedy. Definitely check that out. While You Were Sleeping, chick flick, Sandra Bullock, but I really enjoy it.
Everybody enjoys her.
Yes. Just Friends, Ryan Reynolds and
Aw.
Amy Smart.
I like Just Friends.
Yeah, we my buddy and I, we got a advanced screener of it. What was it? It was about a month before it came out to theaters. We had the option of seeing that, or it was like a horror movie we were really looking forward to that night. And I was a huge Ryan Reynolds fan at the time.
You know what the worst part of that movie is?
What?
Amy Smart. You know what the worst part of any movie she's in is? Amy Smart.
You don't like Amy Smart, huh?
She's awful. She's awful.
I did not know that.
No, she's so awful.
Well, I knew she was awful, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that with you.
Yeah.
And then my final one, and I think Jesse will, or was it Jesse or Ryan will agree with me, The Family Man.
I love Family Man.
Mhm.
You ever seen that?
I don't think so.
One of you, I remember, was like hooting and hollering when I said it on a previous
that's
episode.
a great movie. Nick
Yeah.
Cage, man. You gotta
Yeah.
check that one out.
Anything with Nick Cage is terrible. So
Oh, that is, in my
Oh.
opinion, like his last great movie.
Yeah. It's good. It's Family Man is really good.
Let's wrap it up with a little Mandalorian discussion.
Man,
fuck yeah.
the
Can we?
fucking Lord.
Can we? Good Lord.
So the final episode has aired of season 2 now, guys. So here's
Spoiler alert.
Here's what I want to know. First of all, what did you think of the final episode? Second of all, where would you rank it of season 2? And third of all, season 1 versus season 2, which is better?
Fourth of all, who cried in the last episode?
I definitely got the feels.
Oh my god,
I got the feels. It takes a lot to make me
Heavy
cry.
spoiler everything,
bro. Okay, spoiler alert.
Everything.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, bro. When his helmet came off and that little hand caressed his face, and then he looked over his shoulder at him, and
he's gonna be back. Like,
bro,
I didn't get
I don't
emotional
care.
once. Like,
Mando does not remove his helmet for anything except
for
for
he-
stealing the codes on the thing.
yeah,
But
That interrogation scene.
or eating soup.
For anybody though to see,
Yeah.
he showed himself to the other Mandos who he's praised that his people do not do that, and it's disrespectful when you don't remove your helmet.
Mhm.
And he went against his word to let fucking Grogu show his face to see him for who he is. And the little hand brushed his cheek, and it was it. I was done. Okay. Other questions that you had. I just had to add that fourth one in.
Where would you rank this episode in terms of the second season? Is it the best, second best?
I give it
I think it's third.
a close second to 6.
Yeah. And those were my 2 right there, like that are neck and neck. I think I would give the 6th episode just a hair because the shot composition.
Is that the Ahsoka episode?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
And it's in that was it that forest or whatever where you know all the trees are showing the moonlight and everything.
Yeah.
There are so many
Beautiful.
complex shot compositions in that episode. It is done perfectly. And then the third question was first season versus second.
Who did you have? What was your favorite episode?
My favorite episode is the Ahsoka one. I think that I probably put that first one over it too. I love that first episode.
The first episode's great. The only episode I didn't care for was the second one.
My biggest problem with the last episode, and the reason it's like third, maybe fourth, if I went back and watched them all again, I don't know for sure, is I called everything. I literally was like, okay, so the Jedi is going to show up, whoever it is. It's probably Luke. I saw the one X-Wing come. I wasn't surprised. I was like, it's fucking Luke. He came in, he's destroying stuff. I had a slight hesitation because I was like, well, they're not showing his hand, and I don't see like
but the
a
green
glove.
saber though.
I saw the green saber. And I'm like, maybe it's not him, and then I saw his glove, and I'm like, no, there's a fucking robot hand under that. It's Luke.
Yeah.
So there was just enough that I was like, I called this whole thing. It's
Yeah.
not like complex enough, I guess, but it's still a great episode. But it's not the best for me.
I thought the de-aging was better than the Princess Leia one from the last movie. I thought it was better in this one.
I need to go back and watch because that was the first thing I thought of because I saw it and I was like, this doesn't look as good as I remembered it looking. Because I remember who was the Imperial captain that they did they didn't do de-aging, but they did like a CGI face for in episode
Christopher
6.
Lee, Tarkin? No.
Because the first time I saw that, I was like, is that a fucking lookalike or is that like CGI? And I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Luke, and it's probably because I know Luke is old.
You do, and that's the argument with it all.
But
always.
like, it just stood out to me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
If they were trying to make him look like Luke from the original movies,
it
didn't look like him to me. It to me, I thought it was another person. I didn't realize
it was another person too. It wasn't him de-aged. It was another actor that they CGI'd his face.
Yeah,
onto.
but it wasn't an act. But I thought it was another person.
But they perfected his face to look like. Yeah.
So wait, Mark Hamill wasn't in it because they credited Mark Hamill.
It's just his likeness.
It's because his likeness.
Because of
you
his
have
likeness.
to.
Interesting.
It was a separate actor entirely.
I gotcha. Yeah. So I didn't love. It wasn't bad, but it didn't look great. It didn't look like Luke to me. It looked like another actor that they tried to find that looked similar to Luke to play the Luke role, who I was assuming is then going to go on to be him in future shows.
It's one of those
I didn't
things
realize they tried to reface him.
In 10 years, I don't think it's going to hold up at all.
Yeah.
When you look at some of these old movies, when you like go back to it, you're like, oh man, like you look at the lightsaber battles in Empire, it still holds up because it was just good for its time. 10 years from now, that CGI is not going to look good.
It's funny because if you watch like a lightsaber battle from like Empire and then you compare it to like one of the prequel ones, like say Revenge of the Sith, how fast they are within that movie, and then they don't look anything like that in the original 3. It's really slow and meticulous and methodical. Yeah,
they tried to get back to that with the new ones too. They didn't want the choreographed. It's a little bit more like kind of just hacking at each other type of thing.
Yeah,
I think we run into that issue with the Star Wars storyline because of how many hands have touched it, especially like Mando in itself, with so many different directors being involved and each episode being somebody different.
That's what I was going to say.
The thing I really enjoyed the final episode. to Jesse's point, a lot of it was easy. Like you see the X-wing, it's Luke.
Yeah.
He went to they put Grogu on the Looking Stone to call upon a Jedi. A Jedi is going to come into play at some point.
I would have shot that tighter. Don't show the whole X-wing. Just shoot it tighter.
You
like
show that X-wing, you give it away immediately. If you know the story, you see the green lightsaber. It's Luke.
Yeah.
There was no to a newer fan who they've said you can't appeal to the old and the new, and Mando has done that, and Jon Favreau has done that. If you're a new fan, it's very exciting to see. You're not going to know what it is. Cool. They've got a new group of fans that are going to involve and are going to be excited, and the old fans are excited because they know it's Luke, and that's cool.
Sure. Well, and it's simplistic above everything else too. Like, Star Wars became too complex. That's kind of the problem with the newer movies and all that. Like, it's a simplistic formula. It's just done in a galactic setting.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
The one thing I struggle with, and this goes back to being different people running the show, is this takes place between 6 and 7, Mandalorian. They implement these new Terminator stormtroopers,
dark bots or whatever they're called.
Those never play a part in any of the future movies. You never hear about them, see about them,
and they're badass.
And
so why wouldn't
they're dope? And it's Disney all the way through. So I think Disney dropped the ball there, just in continuation story, as far as like they implement this really new, off the wall droid type stormtrooper, which droids are new, but there's never been this type of stormtrooper involved, and you don't hear about them in any of the other new continuation stories of the original Star Wars. So that was kind of just a letdown for me.
And that's the fan service for the books and stuff, because I knew people who, as soon as they heard about that, were like, oh my God, they're gonna have dark troopers, and they were freaking out. But
that's
it's exactly how you said. It's just they something that awesome, you would make more, and you'd have an army of it that would take over the clones in the future. You wouldn't have to worry about Finn, because Finn wouldn't have been in the picture. You know what I mean?
So, like with season 2, here's the thing. I'm gonna preface this by saying I think season 2 is better than season 1.
I agree.
That's my opinion overall. Why I think that is, Ryan kind of touched on it a little bit. It's the assortment of directors, the different ones like Carl Weathers, Favreau, obviously, Robert Rodriguez. I mean, just these assortment, these very different and complex directors that are adding their voice, their touch, their nuance to this folklore. And to me, I think every single one of them, despite the fact that their voices are so different, it felt like the whole season was consistent as a whole. And it's funny because this is a series that goes on so many tonal shifts in terms of what it is. Sometimes it's science fiction. Sometimes it's a Western. Sometimes it's,
we've had horror. Like Ahsoka had horror stuff in it.
And that's why that episode is fucking great, man. It might be my favorite episode overall of the whole series.
I think so too.
But yeah, it's just so many different things. And for all of those purposes, we see that in film, a 2-hour movie, and it doesn't work. Somehow it works here through 8 or 9 hours of television. It's great. I love this series. There's a couple things that, obviously fan service, like Jesse touched on a little bit. I think it was a little forced at times. What I love about this show is when it's so far withdrawn from that universe. Like, it's a very intimate story that takes place on this planet, has nothing to do with these people over here. I love that. Do not draw those together to where it feels like forced magnetism to bring those worlds together.
And that's one thing I kind of don't like about bringing Luke in, because we had something that was completely separate, and now it's like, guess who trained Grogu? Luke.
Even with Boba Fett, though, I mean, they're still pulling in these pieces. They got
agreed.
They got her from Revenge of the Clone Wars or whatever. Like they have to have those pieces in order to service the fan service, But I agree. Like, we had this storyline of its own world, and then it's not tainted because of Luke, but it's just like I don't know.
It's a bad taste.
It didn't need to happen. You could have finished the story different ways. I think that the role of the fuck is his name? Gus Fring.
Oh,
what's his name in the show?
General. Oh shit,
I can't think of his name. But anyways, his role seemed really like muted. Like, he was this big badass. He played off the end of season.
Gideon.
Yeah, Moff Gideon. He ends season 1.
Yes.
You think he's gonna have this giant role. He's this big badass. He takes Grogu in a very minimal role in that episode. And then he gets overtaken that easily in this one. Like, I don't know, his role I wanted more from, because I think it could have been a very cool villain. And I think they let it off too easy. Well, I think part of that's the series is too short. I wanted so much more.
The episodes are short too. They're only like 30 minutes.
Rodriguez
is really short.
They
with
way
credits.
Yeah, that's short. Like 24 minutes for some of those.
Yeah.
You could get a lot more packed into there. I know they're like the story, the way that they've done this is different. It's not a continuous storyline as it is. They're individual mini stories,
serials,
mini bosses, and whatever. But
my biggest problem with it, because I love the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I give it a 9 out of 10 probably. But the reason that it's not perfect is because it is just so predictable.
Yeah.
As soon as we started implementing, like he said, oh, I've got his blood,
Yeah.
That blood is being used for Palpatine.
Yeah.
We all know it. He's using it to resurrect him. We know that's what's going to happen.
And that's once again drawing it back to that that world.
And if it's not Palpatine, then it's fucking Snoke. It's one or the other, and we know that.
Yeah.
You go forward, you look at this Darksaber thing. I can tell you what the next season's going to be about. It's all going to be about he doesn't want the saber. He's trying to give it to Bo-Katan, and it's all about their adventures. But then by the end of it, he's going to feel like, oh, maybe I do want this saber, and that'll be the conflict of the story, is whether or not he'll be ruling or Bo-Katan, and they're going to clash, and there'll be a little battle, but they'll probably resolve it by the end of it, and somehow they'll find a way to both coincide. Well, I've figured out the entire season 3 already.
And look, beating doesn't mean death either. Like, that character has to beat him and all that. I'm like, that could be anything. He took it from say the name again. I'm sorry.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon he took the saber from him.
It doesn't have to be death, but it has to be a true well-fought besting of the other person.
Okay.
And
let's stage a fight.
Here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be. He could give it to her. There's nothing saying, there's no science, there's no gravity barrier or anything that's preventing him from giving it to her, but she would be rolling under false presence.
Right.
So for her own,
just don't tell people.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
For
That's my other problem.
That's the thing. For the whole peace of mind, she has to best him so she can feel that she's the correct ruler.
Yeah.
So she's gonna actually have to beat Mando, which no offense, she's not going to. Exactly.
But
she's not gonna beat him. And so she's never gonna get the Darksaber. And I hope to Jesse's storyline, I hope they don't place too much emphasis on it, because it's going to be a watered down, overextended storyline for something very minuscule in the overall realm of what's going on.
And that moment in terms of the saber and all that, like, so that can be far away from the Republic's eyes and all that stuff. Like, that's one of those moments that annoys me in film, where it's a wink and a nod to the audience watching beyond.
Absolutely.
So a perfect example of this is the movie The Strangers, where like you see you'll see a shot of like the girl, and behind her you'll see characters who are peeking out behind a tree or anything, and and they walk and they run and they tiptoe and all that. They could easily just stay on those trees. Who's that for? Who's that moment for?
Yeah,
that's for us. That's to titillate the audience.
Yep. I like being titillated.
Titillation. That's it for me, but that's all I got.
I think it was great. Definitely better than 1.
I think 3 will probably be better than 2, but it's just, I hope they get more ballsy and take some risks and make their own stuff, and not just like, I'm tired of everything being tied to the original story, and I'm tired of being able to see where everything is going, or having filler episodes that don't matter.
Very telegraphed.
Well, what happened?
Really get out there.
What happened with the sheriff in the Western?
Timothy Oliphant.
He's gone now. Granted,
he'll probably get a show.
The chick came back, whatever her name is, Buzzcut.
Gina Carano.
So she was like kind of out. We thought she was going to be a one and done, and then she resurfaced. So I'm curious if Timothy Oliphant comes back. He could get a show of his own.
They're supposed to be trying to make 100 new shows on Disney Plus. Not all Star Wars necessarily, but 100 new shows in the next year, or content.
I think you got to be careful with that, because burnout. Like that's the same thing. Like, people still love the Marvel movies, but there was a point there where you're like, we just need a year off, man.
Yeah, you got so much. They have so much content now to make, though.
They're going to do it though with all those TV shows like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and people love Daredevil.
Daredevil was dope.
They kind of liked Jessica Jones, but they didn't like the second season as much. Luke Cage, they liked the first season. They didn't like anything else, and they hated Iron Fist.
Agreed.
And if you try to do too much, people will love Obi-Wan like Daredevil.
Yeah.
The Ahsoka Tano might be okay for the first season. You start doing other shit like that Boba Fett show, which I didn't like his motivations at all. Why the fuck is he trying to rule Tatooine? I think that's stupid. That doesn't seem like something that Jango Fett or Boba Fett would do, whichever one it is. I don't even remember. But I don't know. I think that, to your point, they're trying to capitalize right now. With Disney Plus, it's only as good as the content they add, because it can't sit dull forever. I don't go on there unless there's something new that comes out, because
I've seen everything that's on there.
Yeah.
All the movies that they have are movies we've all seen that they've just now placed into one location to watch at your free will. So they have to continue to make new content. Now that they've got Marvel, I mean, they can do so many individual stories with that.
Yeah.
Star Wars, they're obviously going to implement these standalones.
Other than Obi-Wan, I am much more excited for all the Marvel content.
Yeah.
Compared to the Star Wars stuff.
I'm pretty excited for Fett's story. I like his character. It's going to depend on how they make it, though. It's going to depend on where they take the story, how they connect the universes together, like they're doing with Mandalorian. Like, what is it going to be? I don't know. Overall, there's going to be a lot of new content, like a crazy amount of new content coming next year.
8 out of 10 for me, season 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 9.
Yeah, I'm right around there. I wouldn't be upset with an 8, but 9 is where I would probably sit. I'd probably give the first one an 8. Because there were a couple episodes that bored me in the first one that didn't need to be there.
Yes, there were 2 episodes that I would take.
The first one a 7, then probably.
No, I would give the first one a light 8 too, but it's just this one. This one for me is a hard 8.
It's like an 8 and an 8 plus.
Yeah, it's closer to a 9 than it is a 7.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I'd say 8, 9, 8 first season, 9 for the second season.
I'm about there too.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, overall, great show. I hate how quickly they come and go.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's done and over with, and we won't see it again until this time next year, which sucks.
And even this one, we had to wait for the episodes, and it was still quick.
Yeah.
To your credit, I don't know if I would add more episodes, but I think I would just make the episodes longer, like make them hour episodes, like
at least be consistent in it.
Yeah.
That's
some are 30, some are 45. The last one was 52, I think.
Yeah. Most show series like this, every episode is consistent. You watch a Dexter or something, every episode's 50 minutes. They're hour longs. You take out the commercials or whatever. You got a 50-minute show, and they're all the same. Some might even be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
This one is
48 to 53.
All over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And I don't know if it's because whoever's directing couldn't come up with enough storyline for it or whatever. But
even when you look at this season, there is some filler episodes, like the Frog Lady. That story is not necessary. Like it's just whatever. Like. I don't know. Even the Seeing Stone episode's not necessary. You could do the Seeing Stone thing, okay, because we have to reach Luke. But like, was that whole episode really anything more than just a giant action shot to show Django and Mando fighting with each other? No, it wasn't. I don't know.
Good show.
Good show.
Overall, 2 thumbs up. 8s, 9s around the room. So
enjoyed it.
Check it out. I think that's it for this week. It's good to be back. Thanks for tuning in, watching, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. We'll be back on our normally scheduled programs going forward. Everyone that watches this maybe tomorrow, have a happy holiday, and we will catch you on the next one.